This time on Square Roots, in a forgotten era before kings and kingdoms, a young man comes of age and is given permission by his tribe's stern elder to go forth and hunt, together with his best friend Gory. Bereft of spoken words, they rely on their senses to survive, in particular, a powerful sense of smell. Guided by their noses, they track game and find shelter, and learn much about the world and its dangers.
Hello and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zandt.
Heyo.
John Pogo Brandon.
Let's make this place sizzle like a summertime cookout.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. And we are ready to start Live Alive. I'm just going to call it Live Alive. I know it's controversial, but I'm going to say Live Alive.
Live Alive.
Live Alive. This is a fun game, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want
pretty
to
cool
spoil
beans.
our podcast, but
It's certainly very unique so far.
yeah,
Mhm.
it is.
Everything we do
very
here is
interesting.
very unique.
Mhm.
Well, prehistory kind of could be Chrono Cross.
Yeah. We'll talk about that when we get to it, but definitely something new and different. Thanks, listeners.
Yeah.
Thanks, Johnny, for choosing this choice. I don't remember what the other choices were, or particularly what I chose, so...
You chose
Live Alive.
You
Undertale.
chose what's Undertale. That's what I was trying to
Undertoots.
think of.
What did I choose?
You picked
Moon.
something. I picked Moon.
No, you picked Live Alive.
Vanessa picked the Dragon's Dog. No, it was something like Dragon's Dogma though. It was
No, wait, that doesn't sound
Last
anything
Remnant?
like Vanessa.
Oh, yeah. That's
Last
okay.
Remnant.
No, I don't want to play that. I want to play Live Alive.
Yeah, me too. This game's fun.
Live Alive is great.
Live Alive.
Is your liver alive, Matthew?
Not for long.
Okay.
What a question. Gosh, I hope it is. One of us is going to have to chop off a bit of ours and stick it in Matt if it isn't, and
think that-
not
Excuse
it.
me.
Yikes. Cool conversation that we've walked into here.
Sweet. I think I did explain what we do on the podcast. Who has some hot gaming news to share with the group? Oh, you know what I do? I'm going to go first. I want to go
ahead.
first this week.
Yeah.
There was a big Silent Hill reveal yesterday
What?
Yeah.
afternoon.
They revealed the
everyone
Silent Hill?
seemed sad about it.
It was a little disappointing for a couple of reasons, but they did, at least for me anyway, but they did announce a remake of Silent Hill 2 that is being developed by Bluebird team. They announced a new Silent Hill movie directed by Christoph Gans, who did the first Silent Hill movie and the second one too, I believe.
That movie was not good.
No, they announced a Silent Hill like interactive kind of like art project, or like kind of like what was that Netflix thing that they did with Black Mirror?
Bandersnatch.
Yes, yeah, Bandersnatch. Something similar to
Or
that is what it
Kimmy
looked like
Schmidt.
to me.
A choose your own
Yes,
adventure?
yeah, or they kind of, yeah.
Did you guys say that the Silent Hill movie was bad? That movie's
Yeah.
great.
No.
I remember because I was a hardcore Silent Hill fan. Like Silent Hill 1 and 2, I loved those games even when I was younger. And I went and saw the movie. I was in college at the time, and I remember being so pissed off after I saw it with how it just willy-nilly used it from the movies. Like it was cool to see it on
From the
screen, but
games,
also
you
didn't
mean?
make any fucking sense. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, no, it was cool to see stuff from the game on the screen, but at the same time, like it was just a jumble of stuff.
Had
It
that
didn't
pyramid
feel,
head.
like, cohesive.
Had the lady. Listen, as somebody who has not played Silent Hill, that movie's good. That's a good horror movie. One of the best
It's not
video
bad.
game adaptation movies. You know,
I
mean
will
that's a
agree with you for
low
sure.
bar, but
Yeah, it's a low bar. There is a scene in that movie where Pyramid Head picks up a woman and grabs her skin with his hand and rips all of her
Yeah.
skin off, and it's one of the coolest kills in a horror movie. I think I like
that movie's
that one.
crazy. That Pyramid Head was scary.
Pretty brutal.
Scary.
But they announced a couple other things. There's a Silent Hill game. I looked kind of visual novel-y. I'm not sure that takes place in Japan. Called Silent Hill F. And there is another like brand new Silent Hill entry in the works. It's going to be a PS5/Steam exclusive. Suck it, Xbox. And it is called Silent. This is a terrible title. Silent Hill Townfall. Not Downfall, but
It's a townfall.
Yeah, Townfall.
I mean, it's not that bad. I think I read that Silent Hill F is the first entry that will be set in Japan, which is fun.
That is, yes, it is set in Japan. It looks interesting.
Well, listen, with all those projects, some of it's got to be okay. Maybe some
But
of it
we're
will be
also-
worthwhile. Throw a bunch of
talking
shit at the
about-
wall and see what works.
We're talking about Konami, so I don't know
they're
that I have a ton of faith in them.
garbage
Yeah,
company. I did see some screenshots, comparisons of the new Silent Hill 2, and I thought the screenshot comparisons I saw, looked amazing. But I didn't watch any
I
of the
think
footage. I don't really know anything about Silent
Yeah.
Hill 2 because I could never play it because those tank controls are impossible.
If I could, like, personally, because I watched it and I was, wanting to give it the benefit of the doubt, but the new James Sunderland, who's a Silent Hill 2 protagonist, his new character model in the remake looks ridiculous.
Why?
He looks ridiculous,
Send us a picture right
Like,
now.
oh damn, that body is ridiculous.
Yeah. You gotta clarify. I don't. Vanessa, do you get it? I don't get it. It just
He
looks
looks
like a dude.
fine. What's the issue?
No, he looks terrible.
Looks like a guy.
Yeah, he looks like a normal guy.
He looks like Matt Damon with a Curtin's haircut, but also in the original Silent Hill 2, the characters look kind of weird, and it added to the eeriness of the game. They all had a kind of weirdness to them, and this just makes them look like a guy who hasn't gotten his haircut since 2003, or he's had the same haircut style since 2003. It's
He's
I
just
don't
making
know.
a dumb face.
It was disappointing.
Maybe
Isn't
it
it
turned
set
set
in like
2001.
I mean, he's
2003
like
though?
he's looking in a mirror, confused at himself. I don't know what you're talking about. It looks fucking fine.
That's the scene
You
from the
clearly
first
have
game.
a Silent Hill hang-up and cannot be trusted to have opinions on this. You just said the Silent Hill movie was bad. Now you're saying this perfectly normal-looking guy looks ridiculous.
That is.
I
You
was
think that's a
expecting clown
perfectly
shoes.
normal looking man? You think this
He
is a
looks
perfectly
totally
normal
normal.
looking man?
He looks a little
no,
bit.
he does not.
He
Like-
looks like his eyes are squinted because he's like
He looks like a
confused.
40-year-old cosplaying as a Backstreet Boy.
He looks
He
like
looks-
David Bowie
He does
in
look
his
a
"I'm
bit-
Afraid of Americans" era.
Now that I'm looking at his hair more closely, it does look a bit like he's got random streaks of hair dyed blonde.
It looks like he's got highlights.
Like
yeah.
he's got highlights. That's a little weird.
So what? He looks great.
But I'm sure that's just this particular. Like that's probably just the camera or the angle or whatever. Like it's fine.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
have fucking
So I
blonde
think-
highlights like a Backstreet Boy.
I'd swipe
Right?
right. Is it left
Yeah.
or right? What's the good swipe?
She likes that
that's
floppy
a good,
hair.
Right is a good swipe.
I don't think it
Yeah.
is highlights
swipe
though. I
right.
think it's just. I think they're like light highlights, like fluorescent light highlights.
Plus, he's really upset.
Yeah,
in
he
that
is under a
picture.
fluorescent light in that scene.
Oh well, Jim. Like he's under a fluorescent light. He's in distress. He's looking in a mirror. We all make weird face when we look in the mirror.
I like his weird
That's
face.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so it's a combination of me not really digging that character model and the fact that it's made by Bloober, which I don't think
I
are
don't know who
great
that is.
game developers. They made The Medium, which is on Xbox Game Pass.
I didn't play that. Yeah, but with a remake, they have less to do, really. Like, you've already got the game itself is made. Like, you just have to remake it.
They're completely porting it over to Unreal Engine, so it's running on Unreal. It's not running on the Silent Engine.
You don't want it to have, like, the original controls, and, they got to reprogram it, but they don't have to design the world. They don't have to design the levels, really. It's there. They've got a blueprint.
They didn't have to, but they did when they redesigned this fucking terrible looking character model.
I mean, they did have to, Jim. It was a PS2 game. In reality, what you're talking about is a square head with a polygon mop of blonde on top. Like, what are you talking about?
What they should have done is made every environment better, every weapon model, every texture that's on the environment better, but left the character models PS2 blocky, stupid.
I mean, honestly, you could do a fuzzy polygon thing with it and probably have it look pretty great,
Look, I get it. You want your video game waifus to be super hot all the time, and you've been playing your Tomb Raider, and then you're like, I hope when Lara Croft is in 4D, she's still super hot, and this is your Lara Croft, and you want her to be super hot, and he's just normal. But you know what? You shouldn't marry someone who's super hot because you'll always be having insecurities. It's like that song, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife, Jim. You gotta marry this guy.
Jim, I understand what you're saying. I hear you. Hire fans. Got it.
That is the
I don't recommend marrying James Sunderland.
Yeah, that's what I was
to do.
Does he have a bad track record with his wife? That's not nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she might be in Silent Hill. That's kind of the whole crux of the game.
She's probably fine.
Yeah, she's fine. He definitely didn't smother her with a pillow.
Wasn't there something? There was something similar in the Silent Hill movie, right? Wasn't it a kid she was looking for, and it was like, oh no, my child's dead.
The plot of the Silent Hill movie was basically Silent Hill 1, but with Silent Hill 2 Pyramid Head.
Yeah, which is a representation of James Sunderland's
guilt.
Well, it's not just his guilt, but his
himself.
Anger and his
desire to punish himself.
Yeah,
that's what Pyramid Head was. Yeah.
So the games have to be about James Sunderland, or you can never have Pyramid Head again. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well,
no, Pyramid Head's kind of an icon, but it was weird to introduce audiences to it in that way.
Yeah,
I guess
because it's such
weird as someone who has no idea what the fuck you're talking about. It was perfectly fine.
You're perfectly fine.
Thanks.
Yeah. Who else has gaming news?
Ooh, I do. Have you guys ever heard of a great hot game that everybody loves called Chess?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hans Niemann sues Magnus Carlsen and Chess.com for $100 million.
That's a lot of money.
I would too if I was him. Because apparently Chess.com, did you read this in that article? Chess.com did an investigation just for due diligence sake into the guy who was accused of cheating his matches, and they found that they were looking through video footage of old stuff, I think, and they saw that somebody's staff was stealing from somebody else. I think it was that lady who everyone called a cheater. She wasn't cheating, but someone in her crew was sneaking chips out of her stack or something like that, and stealing money from her.
The poker woman?
Oh my god.
Yeah, the poker woman.
Oh,
We're talking about
hear
chess.
about that.
I'm very confused.
I'm getting my sports mixed up.
We're talking about chess here.
We're talking about the great sport of chess.
Maybe it was poker.com that did the investigation. I'm thinking, and you said chess.com. I think that's right.
Two different games, two different scandals.
Well, there's so many scandals, and there's a bass fishing scandal now too. There's so much happening.
There's a bass fishing scandal now.
Or I mean, walleye scandal.
God damn it, Polygon! Why don't you have spoilers for the end of the Lord of the Rings right here on the fucking sidebar? I haven't finished it yet.
Frodo takes the ring to Mount Doom.
Rings of Power. Anyway, Neiman is suing. He says, it's a defamation suit, and I don't know. He says a lot of stuff. Who fucking cares? He's suing him for a lot of money.
He's suing him for money because they said that he was a cheat. They said, after he said, I'm not cheating, I'll play naked. They said, well, clearly he has vibrating anal beads then.
Oh, really? Is that where that came from?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's fucking awful.
And then they did another investigation and found that when he was like, because this kid is 19 years old. So they're like, oh, actually, we found that when he was like 12, he cheated on a game. So they banned him. But then now they're saying, no, we found that he cheated on like 100 games. But I don't know what's what anymore. There's so many stories. And all anyone wants to talk about is the anal beads, which is probably the least important part.
Hans confessed publicly to cheating online in the wake of the Singek-filled cup, and the resulting fallout is of his own making. As he stated, just how I don't know. Anyway, John, cut me screaming about the Lord of the Rings, please. And does anybody else have hot gaming news?
What I did want to talk about is news that made me so happy when I read the headline, and then less happy when I read the sub-headline. Bungie.
News that you don't want to use.
May revive the Marathon IP. And the Marathon was super cool, Mac-only series of Well, actually, I think one eventually came out on PC. Series of shooters that had really cool lore and all that, and really neat shooters, and I was excited for Bungie to do something in there because that's really cool. But then it's like creating a potential Tarkov competitor, which is another battle royale-y kind of thing.
Oh, is it?
Is there something wrong with that? What's wrong with a new one? You know, I'm desperate for somebody to release a version of PUBG that's better than PUBG. I'm fucking tired of PUBG. But
I don't know. I guess it's just I would have liked a single player.
You haven't even tried Tarkov.
Shooty thing. I haven't tried.
That's a good
Tarkov.
point.
You're right.
Neither have I.
Isn't that the one that where they're like, well, to be realistic, we don't have women characters? No thanks.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's PC only, right? So, like, you know, there's also that Viking survival game that looked really good that just still hasn't come out on the Xbox.
Oh, Valheim. So. Yeah, I'm surprised Valheim hasn't come out on, like, Xbox or something. Anyway, so that's just kind of a bummer. I don't know. There hasn't been that many, like, really cool sci-fi story single-player games, and I'm more of a single-player game kind of guy.
Have you heard of this game called Deathloop that just came out on Game Pass and is basically a single-player sci-fi game and is fucking amazing?
For years, I leveled up with Deathloop, talking about how I love Deathloop, and I'm playing Deathloop, and you guys were all, and I want to play Deathloop.
Well, I didn't have a PS5.
Nobody ever said they don't want to play Deathloop. You just weren't playing it yet.
I didn't have a PS5. I think that's a good
at that point,
reason.
I had tried it, and I felt like it wasn't for me, and then I played it again.
Oh.
John, you have an Xbox. It's on Game Pass. Download it. It's fun. I have zero interest in the multiplayer, unfortunately. Yeah, but is it on the free PSN service? Yeah, you can invade other people's, but you can also turn your game to single player, which I definitely did, and I may have bumped up the lives that it gives you. 2's not enough.
All right. Well, let's move on to.
Excuse me.
Oh,
yeah. There's more.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Quest log. We haven't even leveled up yet.
Oh, Vanessa's probably got some news.
Yeah, I have some news.
I hope it's not Final Fantasy 16 because that's what I was going to talk about.
Scar's causing chaos in Dreamlight Valley. We were promised last week that Scar was going to cause some chaos in Dreamlight Valley, and Scar is here. In the first
fucking shit up!
He's fucking shit up. He is jumping on shelves. He is knocking things on the floor. He is eating too quickly and then gacking up a big ol' hairball over Dreamlight Valley. He's the peskiest kitty, and I love his furry face. But yeah, Dreamlight Valley dropped its first big update. It's still in beta, which just means that you cannot play it for free yet, but you will be able to. They also made some tweaks to the camera system and some other behind-the-scenes, more feeling things.
I heard that Donald doesn't rant for as long.
Donald doesn't rant for as long because everyone was very upset about how much Donald was ranting. He tends to, when he's walking around, fall over, and then he whistles like a steam engine and goes on a very long rant, and people were like, it's too loud and it's too often. So Donald has gotten a little bit of grace, so he won't fall over quite as much, but still will fall over. It's a good game, and I like to play it, so continues to deliver. That's my gaming news. Also, Final Fantasy 16 trailer dropped.
Hey, Final Fantasy 16 trailer, Game of Thrones, we wish.
Yeah.
It looks fine, and I'm going to play it for sure. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Do we need Final Fantasy to emulate Game of Thrones? Is that what Final Fantasy should be doing? Like, can you guys go back to being original and fun and cool and having charming characters that I loved and
it looks fucking
deep
exhausting.
Combat?
Like, it looks like it's going to make me tired.
Yeah. The trailer today focused on all the different countries in this new world, and each discussion about each country was about the ruler of each country, and every single one was the same shot of them sitting on a different throne and a different advisor talking to them, and I was like, wow, this looks fucking boring.
So every time
they said the name of a new country, I laughed at how stupid it was, and then immediately wanted to honk shoe my way through the rest of the trailer.
I respect that they're still giving shit stupid names. Now that's a Final Fantasy tradition that I can get behind. Give them the dumb names, and there's some big ass crystals involved, and it's Final Fantasy 16. I think War of the Icons or something. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're literally oh boy.
Calling them icons and spelling it that way should be
how do they spell it?
I don't think I saw it. It's EIKON. Icon.
Wow. What's wrong with calling them so? Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. Okay, well, that's it for all the hot gaming news, I think. Unless anybody wants to.
Although, if you think about it, Icon is kind of related to Ico from Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember Ico?
Yeah.
EIKO?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That doesn't make it better.
Or make any sense.
Well, Ico could summon stuff.
Remake Final Fantasy IX.
She was a summoner.
Again. If they remake Final Fantasy IX, we're playing it.
Zidane, voiced by Chris Pratt.
Fuck yes, that sounds shit.
Although Steiner should be voiced by John Goodman.
All right, so are you ready to level up?
I think now we can level up, safely.
I'll level up. Hey, I'm jumping in there. I'm going to be the guy that levels up first. Have you guys heard of this game called Deathloop?
Yes.
You know what? I shouldn't groan about it.
Tell me what you liked about it. I'm playing it. It's fun.
Tell you what I liked about it. I like the cool James Bond 1960s vibe to it. I like the powers. A lot of them really borrow from the Dishonored universe, which I love. So it feels like that a little bit. Love a teleport. Love a enemy link. Love the option to stealth or to go in guns a-blazing. Mm-hmm. And I like that, the sort of initial conceit that you're playing the same day over and over again seems like it would be overly restrictive, but I never ran out of new things to discover.
I thought cool. I think Jim mentioned not liking it very much at first, and I think I had a moment there where I was like, oh, really? It's what's going on here? But you're right. Once you dig into it, it's pretty robust.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I think one of the reasons why I bounced off of it is because I found the enemies, because I'm terrible at stealth. So when I'll usually find a way to just be aggressive and make it work, but this game, the enemies are very tanky.
And there's the game very limited ammo, shockingly limited ammo.
So it can make those combat encounters, if you don't know what you're doing, very frustrating, especially in the early game. And that's where I bounced off of it. But once I kind of and again, when I replayed it, I turned on the one-shot kills and made all the drops epic drops or whatever. Yeah.
Wow.
And that just made it a lot easier. Kind of greased those wheels for me, and I really enjoyed the story. The ending was fucking awesome.
That 1960s vibe is interesting. It's fun. I like that it does not seem to be set on Earth still. Like, this is not the planet Earth. The cars are different.
No.
There are no references to any real world anything, which is fun.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Matt, this isn't a spoiler, but the creators Arcane just recently, like 2 weeks ago, confirmed that it actually does take place in the Dishonored universe.
It makes sense.
That's neat. I like that.
Yeah, it is neat. So it's like post like Dishonored, yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if The Outsider's not at hand somewhere. Even though
can we play Dishonored for the show sometime?
Fuck yeah, we can. I just played that game recently. It was so fun.
Yeah, Dishonored rules, yeah.
Dishonored 2 also rules.
Love Dishonored 2.
Dishonored 2 is great, yeah.
My complaint is that the limited ammo is frustrating, and I feel like I get hit very hard by everything, and I'm constantly on the run looking for health to turn around and kill one more enemy. Find some more bullets, kill an enemy, you know? I have to utilize a lot of turrets and stuff just to whittle them down. But, and also, I don't find the gunplay, like, great. Like, it's fine, but it's like everything's just a little slower and fidgetier, and it's a little frustrating. But I love the conceit. It is very much like Dishonored meets Majora's Mask, which is interesting. We're playing the same day over and over again, finding new stuff in different areas. It's cool, super cool, fun.
Very satisfying to see. You know, when you plan a day to see everything come together, it's really cool.
The voice acting is fantastic. The main characters, Colt and Juliana, are great. They just have a ton of chemistry. They love-hate each other and are killing each other over and over again. But there's constantly dialogue between them, and it's always fun and charming and enjoyable. Like that stuff never really gets old. Though some of the repeating lines, like "Oops, I accidentally tried to pick up a health with this janky." System of the Dishonored games were also not great about like hitboxes on things to pick up in the world. I don't know. It's just a weird. They're just kind of.
The reticles in the Dishonored games and in this game are very small. Like for any gun, the aiming reticle is very small. The interaction reticle is very small.
Bright red, and it was not. Yeah. But it's not even that. It's the hitbox to pick stuff up feels like tiny. Like you have to be pointing right at it with this imprecise instrument. You know. Like, anyway, but I'm digging the story. It's a lot like the Dishonored games as well, where you do a mission and then there's kind of, if you complete some stuff, there's like a cutscene that's kind of animated and tells you more about what's going on, and it's great. Anyway, my other level up is that I watched a great movie that everybody loved and is John's favorite movie ever made, and that movie's called Old Beach.
The beach where you grow old.
The Beach Where You Grow Old, Old Beach, starring M. Night Shyamalan.
As the beach.
Starring M. Night Shyamalan.
I mean, it does. He's not wrong.
I know. That's why it's so funny, is he's actually in front of the camera.
He's always in front of the camera. He's in all his fucking movies, Jim.
I know. It's so silly.
It's weird. He doesn't need to do it. It's not. You're not adding anything. It
takes
you out every
such
time.
A vanity thing,
yes. There's the guy. I guess we got to listen to him fucking talk now. Anyway, I watched Old Beach, and it was maybe one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Couldn't believe how bad it was.
I also watched that this week. I think I inspired Matthew to watch it.
Yeah, you told me to watch it. I wanted to say, before you jump in and correct me, let me just say, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Bad acting. Bad dialogue, bad set, bad shots where stupid things that you just the camera hides things from you in such an obvious way that you're not left curious or tense. You're just going, what the fuck? This is dumb. Still could not turn it off. Turned it on at 11 p.m. Watched it straight through. No nodding off. One of the most riveting experiences. It was kind of enjoyable in a what am I fucking looking at kind of way. John.
I think some of the shots are great, but yeah, it does the you can't see what everyone's looking at a little too hard. I mean, a lot too hard, more than any other movie I've seen, where it's yeah, I know that you're hiding that they look older.
Yeah, basically, there's a very extended sequence where, minutes, where the camera won't show the kids, and it's very obvious that they've gotten older on this old beach.
Yeah, their voices are older, and
it plays it for so long that it loses any sort of tension and just becomes a game of, when are you going to show the fucking actors? What are you doing?
I think
everybody knows what's happening here.
It would have been better if they showed that, they gave that away sooner. I think, like, cut to the kids and, you know, they say, hey, Mom, and then you check, like, the shock cut is cutting to the kids immediately and the mom being like, what? You know, I think that would have worked better for tension, because that's the shock.
I mean,
if you know what's coming, it's not a shock.
I don't think M. Night Shyamalan is a very good director. Like,
I think he's good at, like, there's some really good
storyteller
shots.
Sometimes he's got really great ideas. Like this as a concept, and the way that the movie, you know, the beginning and end, you know, other than the big reveal at the end, which is fucking idiotic and boring, the most boring revelation you could possibly imagine.
It is fucking boring as hell.
And
it
goes on.
I
didn't mind it the first half of the reveal.
The people having to live out their lives on the beach, and I don't want to spoil too much, but like, as they start to get older and you kind of realize what's going to happen, like they're not getting out of there. Like, it was fucking, some of that stuff is really clever. Like, it's smart, but then you get other things that are so laughably bad that it's like, is this a fucking,
it has one of the worst pieces.
Is this a Neil Breen movie? I don't understand what's happening.
It has one of the worst pieces of dialogue I've ever heard in a movie. And that would be, the dog is dead, but he was just alive.
But he was the guy that said it had a British accent and said it in a British way. Like,
oh yeah, but he was just alive.
But it's not even that. He was just I don't remember now, but it was legit so stupid and bad. But and everything with the first person that they meet on the families that show up meet on the beach is a black guy, and then there's a dead girl, and of course they have to assume that the black guy's that killed the dead girl, and that's a huge piece of it that just never clicked with me the whole time. The only
person that assumed that was the racist doctor.
That's a good
like
point.
Everyone else
wasn't everybody on the cast.
Yeah,
you're right.
This movie is based off a comic book, you know.
I did
Is it
know
really?
that. Yeah.
I did not know that.
A French-Swiss comic book or something like that.
I tried to find information about it on the internet when this movie came out. There's not a lot.
The comic book does not have the hotel/ending stuff. The wraparound.
Can we spoil the worst ending I've ever seen in one of these movies? Because, listeners, if you haven't seen it, plug your ears for a minute. But, Vanessa, have you seen the movie? I don't know.
I have not, but please go ahead.
All right.
Well, I'll put this at the end.
Listen, the spoiler is that at the end of the movie, it turns out M. Night Shyamalan, the guy that delivered them to the beach, is working for a pharmaceutical company who is using the beach to quickly test pilot drugs.
Because, these people age so quickly, they can test the long-term effects of new drugs on different types of people, which is why, you have all these different kinds of people on the beach. There are kids, there's, middle-aged people, there's, people of different ethnicities.
And everyone
so they can
has
test different drugs on them.
One guy has a blood clotting disorder.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The kid that asks everybody their name and occupation.
Yeah, that's fucking annoying. That kid's all that kid's dialogue in the first half of the movie is fucking annoying.
I really liked it.
He was only just alive. That's the line. The dog is dying. He was only just alive. What?
I don't understand this scheme, because if you need to test your drug, presumably that's for FDA approval.
Yeah,
FDA is never going to take your data if you go there and said we found some people who aged overnight and tested our drug on them.
Well, you think the FDA they would be like, how do you know this brand new drug is okay 80 years after somebody takes it?
They never know that with brand new drugs.
There was
that's not a thing that they test. And a corporation doesn't care. They just want to sell it in they're not looking ahead 30 years. I mean, what if there's a class action lawsuit?
They didn't create the Time Beach. They're just taking advantage of it.
They just found it?
Yeah.
So it's not like they had to invest in the Time Beach. The Time Beach is a naturally occurring phenomenon.
Yes.
The best is every time there was a wide shot of the beach, which was surrounded by very high, climbable cliffs, the cliffs had
Magic
old
rocks.
man faces in them. old man faces in the cliffs.
What?
There's also some casual cruelty towards women that I just did not appreciate. One character in particular is just really grossly fucked over, and not in a
I would
way
say
that is
that
smart or interesting, but just cruel, just a death.
My review of it is, it's not good enough to be a movie to watch because it's good, and it has a couple of moments that make it too not fun to be a movie you watch because it's so bad it's good. Like there's some we're spoiling it, so there's some child deaths, 2 instances of child deaths that are miserable and kind of ruin any enjoyment I would get out of. But I don't think it's a bad movie. There's some really good parts. That's why I wouldn't say it's just a total bad movie. But
there's some good parts, and there were times that I thought the actors were doing a great job, but then other times they were delivering lines that I was like, "What the fuck?"
Everything with the main couple on the beach, like at the end when they were just kind of settling old grievances, was sweet. And there's a line that Elliot Kalin really liked in their review on the Flophouse that I just works so well, where the little girl's growing up, right? And now she's almost an adult, and she's like, "Yeah, earlier today, my thoughts were just bright and colors, like these strong, bright colors, and now there's more of them, but they're less bright. But there's so many more." And that was a really good line about how your
that's really
mind
interesting.
changed.
Yeah,
there and just there's some really good dynamics. He's one of those directors who needs someone who's to say no to him. Like
he needs to not write his own script. Like I feel like it feels like Hollywood is really kind of letting M. Night Shyamalan like kind of try to find his thing again. Like they're like, you can try to adapt this comic book that somebody else wrote, and it turned into Old, which was like super middle of the road. Now they're letting him do a novel, like a horror novel, which is what his next one is, which is based on The Cabin at the End of the World, which looks amazing, by the way. The trailer looked fantastic, but it feels like they're and then he did another like really low budget found footage horror movie, which was The Visit. So it feels like they're letting him kind of try to sample different things to see if he can be like marketable again.
Yeah, but they need like a Lawrence Kasdan there, or like George Lucas's wife, to come in and be like, let's work on that.
But like his movies, you can tell he's a talented director. Like I think his movies look good. Like I think Old looks good. I think The Visit looks good.
There certainly are some beautiful shots of like the beach and the characters on the beach
movie.
And
there's
some
amazing
crazy bad shots.
There's an amazing single shot of going around the beach and all this different stuff happening that was so good.
Yes. There's like, and he's
2 minutes
he's
long
good
or
at
something.
like, he's really good at like establishing geography and all that stuff, but like he's his own worst enemy when it comes to like indulging his vanity, and that's where his movies get like so bad.
I don't know, man. It sounds like you're psychoanalyzing the guy. We don't know. So he makes bad movies. I thought it was good bad. My recommendation would be watch it when you're fucking loaded, because I really enjoyed it and I enjoyed talking to my friends about it. But that's about it. I can't imagine recommending it to somebody. All right, Jimmy.
Okay, speaking of watching a movie
Jimmy
while being
crack corn and I don't care. I pitched you in. Sorry, go ahead.
Speaking of watching a movie while being loaded, the other night I watched the movie Halloween Ends.
Oh, how was it?
The end of David Gordon Green's Michael Myers trilogy. I actually liked it a lot. I was nervous going into
Halloween
it because
Kills, right?
There's Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. Right? Is that the way it goes?
I didn't even hear of the first Halloween.
What about Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, and then wasn't there just another movie called Halloween?
Those are different Halloween continuities.
Yeah, because there's 3 of them. There's at least 3 versions of the first Halloween, right?
There's Halloween, which was John Carpenter. There's Halloween, which was Rob Zombie. There's Halloween, which was David Gordon Green.
Yeah, I never even heard of the David Gordon Green Just Halloween one. Is it a remake or is it?
It's a sequel to the first film.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's actually really good. So this newest trilogy starts with David Gordon Green's Halloween, 2018, I think, which I think is pretty good. Then went to Halloween Kills, which is just trash, ugly looking, badly written garbage. And then this newest one is actually really good. They're all done by David Gordon Green, which is wild, but this new movie looks great. I think the plot is good. It uses Michael Myers as a metaphor and doesn't try to tell us why he wants to kill people, which, like, people think they want to know, but it's always just going to be a really fucking boring answer. So I think they did a really good job with it. I was really impressed by how good the kills were and how much I was into what they did with the plot. It was just really cool.
People really disliked it, actually. I have been hearing nothing but negativity. It's interesting to hear positivity. I didn't watch the second one because I heard it was really bad.
The second one is bad, and the second one's just really stupid for a lot of reasons. But I honestly didn't expect I would, but I really liked the third one. I think it's interesting. It's well acted. It looks good. It does stuff with the plot that I didn't think about, but makes sense for a Halloween movie. And some of the kills are just so good. And so yeah, I would say watch it if you're interested in that. And I love that because a lot of these Halloween movies feel like, okay, we did one Michael Myers movie where he just murdered people. We need to explain why he's doing it. No, you don't. And this one didn't. This one didn't try to.
Classic Halloween 1 and 2 don't do that. Those are great movies. And then Halloween 3 is Halloween 3.
That's
and then
right.
after that, they just made several slasher movies, none of which are any good, including weird 90s reboots, which aren't any good. When Jamie Lee Curtis came back, still not
those
any good.
Were still, pretty subpar. But
again, they were really leaning on Michael Myers being Jason, and he's not. He's way better than Jason.
And that's what this new one gets right, is because when they do reintroduce Michael, they don't outright say, but they make it clear this is just a 65-year-old man in a Halloween mask. But they find a way to use that and make it scary, but also kind of make him more of a character and make his whole deal not really about him. We'll get into spoilers, but I will say that I really liked it because I kind of gave up on Halloween a long time ago as them being just very middle of the road. Did not care about Michael Myers. This one kind of made him a lot more interesting than I expected, and his whole deal, it played up its themes really well. There's a lot of cool visual stuff that they do in the movie that calls back to older movies and plays into the themes.
Is there a new metal
really
killing montage of how everyone on a boat gets murdered?
No, thankfully.
Thankfully, that's a huge bummer.
But I don't even think there's a kill, an actual murder kill in the movie until maybe a little bit more than an hour into the movie.
Oh wow!
There's just a lot of cool establishing and world building stuff that's in Haddonfield, and then it just kind of goes, and it's really good for that, I think. So I was very happy
Jim
with it.
gives David Alan Greer's Halloween series a thumbs up.
Yes. And then
I'll have to check that out. I'll have to watch the middle one, I guess. I really liked Halloween reboot.
Yeah, the Halloween reboot's good. The second one, I just don't think works on any level. But the third one is good.
What was the name of the lady? I liked Margot Kidder in the first Halloween reboot. She was the only thing I liked in that.
And Rob Zombie's?
Yeah.
I think Rob Zombie's films are okay. They're okay Halloween movies.
I didn't hate his Halloween. It's not nearly as good as the original, but it's fine.
He's too sleazy, man.
It's different at least.
He needs to be working with those House of a Thousand Corpses family because they're his level of sleaze, and they
Yeah. When they try to give him an established property, he's just too sleazy for that shit, I think. Which isn't bad, but it's just not his style, you know? But I thought they were just okay, those Rob Zombie ones. But yeah, new one to wrap up. New one is good. I liked it. John, how did you level up?
I leveled up by watching the new Taskmaster. Let's talk about it now. JK. I just wanted to panic Vanessa and into thinking that I was... I watched Old, so we've already covered that. I am so close to finishing Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, I thought you had.
Oh, you've been on the final boss for 2 or 3 days.
No, I'm in the final zone. And there's just a lot of story stuff, and it's I gotta stop playing it so I can play more Live Alive. And
I feel like I've seen more than one message from you that's like, I'm about to fight the final boss.
Yeah, agree.
Well, it turns out there's more to it. I'm in the final
that wasn't
chapter.
even its final form? Oh, wow.
But there was a boss that I thought was the final boss, but then there's one whole more chapter after. So,
John's Xenoblade 2, like when Matt was playing Okami and kept thinking he was at the end of the game.
Yeah, there's more to it, but every new reveal is super interesting. The lore of this series is really cool, and I haven't even played the first one. And there's an obvious, like, what I think must be a reference either to the first or the third one, and I'm really excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, actually, I will say, like, I am prone to just turning on YouTube explainer videos of various RPG plots just to have in the background while I'm working or doing something like cooking. And I've definitely listened to the Xenoblade ones because they are really interesting.
Yeah, I did not think... I thought they were wholly independent games, and they're not. And that's interesting. So
and the way they're connected is so complicated.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much backstory. Oh my god.
Yep. And they do, like, I think Matthew might have a problem with, like, there are at some points, especially towards the end, like 20 to 30, like, you know when the screen dims because you haven't touched your controller in a while, like those kind
goes
of
into idle mode.
anime length cutscenes, like anime episode length cutscenes near the end. So I don't know. You have to be okay with a lot of story or skipping a lot of story, but I feel like it's so important you won't know anything if you skip those cutscenes. And I don't know. You can skip the goofy ones, but they're so fun. Anyway, I'm almost finished that. I'll definitely be putting Xenoblade 1 on the next vote, which I guess will start fairly soon.
Are we going to do RPG series we haven't done before? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's fine by me.
Fine.
Saga, World Ends With You.
Ni no Kuni.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let me look and see if there's anything else.
Matt always like cringes so hard when I say Ni no
I played that game. It's not fun.
It sucks that there's no current way to play Golden Sun, because that would have probably been my choice. But
Is that not on 3DS?
No.
Or is it Golden Sun 2 that got a re-release? One of them did for the 3DS.
There was a DS. Golden Sun 3 was a DS game.
Okay.
And they were on Wii U.
Play
Oh, go ahead, Vanessa.
a Fire Emblems game. I've never played one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a great choice. I've never played a Fire Emblem either.
I forgot my choice has to be Trails. Trails is where it's at.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to remember the Trails today. Yeah, that's a good one.
I would be very excited to play
I think I'll
any
go
of those.
Saga with mine.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I think I'll go Saga.
Saga.
There's a very clear, vivid memory in my mind of flipping through an EGM magazine and seeing the full page ad for Saga Frontier in it and thinking, it's a fucking crime I can't play that game. I wanted to play that game so bad, and I never, ever, ever did. Never played any other Saga game. I would love to play Saga Frontier. Yeah.
And
they looked incredible.
Is like a Live Alive. It's like multiple stories intersecting.
Cool.
Yeah, it sounds really neat. And like Saga Frontier's always been one of those games that like I can't believe it's always felt like such a blind spot. So to be able to play it would be great.
Would you?
I never played it myself. I agree with you.
Trails in the Sky
Trails, I feel
or
the same way
Trails of Cold Steel?
Oh, I don't know. Don't put me on
look
the
and
spot.
see which one looks most fun.
Yeah,
Let's go do some research.
I don't want
to
to
got a noodle on it.
Because there's different series, and they're not the same stories, and I don't know that I want to choose the oldest one. Maybe one of the middle ones that's more available would be better. Let me look into it.
Well, Trails in the Sky is on
houses
lots
I
of
don't
things.
give a fuck.
Fuck yeah. I own 3 houses, so do it.
That's on Switch, right?
Yeah.
Trails in the Sky is on, I think it's just on PC and Vita, I think.
Well, good news. We all got new PCs.
We all have a Vita, too.
I forgot to level up by thanking the listeners for buying me some big old chunky Switch controllers because the little Switch Joy-Cons hurt my pingies.
Aw.
Yeah,
old
if if we're thanking listeners for the ability to invest in our ability to play games better, I'd like to thank them for this nifty new laptop I got. Like,
I'm glad yours works.
It's amazing.
So and it's Vanessa got it dead.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible that we can buy this stuff for ourselves with our patrons' appreciated dollars. So
yeah, I also got the same laptop that Jim did because we're twinning. Actually, because we just asked Matt, "Hey Matt, what should we buy?" And Matt told us.
Actually, Matt was like, "It's Prime Day. Buy a laptop now."
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the message I woke up to,
and I was like,
pretty much.
You know, you save a little bit of money. It was good. We were able to buy two instead of, I think we would have had to buy them one at a time. And instead, we were able to buy both.
Yeah, it was really great.
It's much appreciated.
Those top-tier Alienware laptops we got you guys.
Not.
Yeah. I will say, like, these are, like, I've never been a PC gaming guy. This is a better PC than I ever thought I would have. And I'm definitely going to reinvest some of it into streaming for some of our very great listeners. So
I'm excited about that. You've been talking for years about streaming those horror games that are on Steam that we never really get to play.
And I've already played one. I've already finished a whole ass one.
Did you finish it? I thought you didn't.
I finished it. I actually streamed for 40 minutes before this recording. So
really?
Finish it. Yeah.
Yeah, and nice. We definitely want to do more of that moving forward. And I'm excited to have a PC that I can dedicate to being my Square Roots business PC and, just free up memory on my other laptop for doing non-podcast business and non-game business. So it will work
like making lists of her enemies.
Like making lists of my enemies.
And Vanessa, if your laptop is bad, you can always return it and get another one.
I don't believe that it is. I've been pretty busy. I haven't had time to fiddle with it very much.
There's a technical term for that. It's called user error. Slam.
Vanessa is next, I believe.
Yeah, it's me. I have 1 music thing and 2 television things. I hardly ever talk about music on this show because I don't like it when podcasts talk about music. I think it's dumb. Listen to it.
The new Broken Bells album is super good, though.
Don't talk about it. But I was doing a very repetitive computer task this week and started listening to this album. And y'all, I think I hypnotized myself. Like, when I was done... Well, first of all, when I was listening to it, I started getting very Patrick Bateman thoughts, like, oh my God, this is transcendent. I love this. This is the greatest music I've ever heard. And then when I was done, like, my eyes were sort of swimming in my head. And I don't know if you ever play Guitar Hero. Like, you can sort of see the walls wobbling when you're done.
Yeah.
It was very much feeling like that kind of state.
You're in that left brain, right brain zone where like everything's fired up, and then when you have to kind of focus again on one thing, it's a little wiggly.
Yeah, and from the scrolling, So the album I was listening to was, of course, Ben Folds and Why Music, So There. This music
I do love a Ben Folds.
Yeah, this is Ben Folds' pop songs set to chamber music arrangements. So they got like a violin and a cello and piccolo and a French horn and all kinds of stuff. And I just absolutely loved it. I don't often recommend music, but I think that everyone who's interested in music should at least give that a little bit of a listen. It might not be for you, and that's okay. You can't force yourself to like music. I believe that in my heart. Your heart responds to what it responds to. My heart responds to this. So there's that. Second, I have been on this show wishy-washy about The Handmaid's Tale this current season. But the last episode was amazing. Really, really good. Really strong performance from Yvonne Stravinsky, and Elizabeth Moss, and even if you've fallen like out of the series, I think you could sort of watch this one and pick up on the general situation pretty quickly. So I believe it's episode 6. If you like these actresses, and I like Yvonne Stravinsky very much. I recommend checking that out. Finally, I watched a brand new show. This show is from Canada. That's right, Johnny. Perk up your ears.
Is John in it?
Whoa. Am I in it?
You might be in it. I don't know. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. It's a Canadian show, but I don't think it is filmed in Vancouver because it's in French. And Johnny, can you help me with the translation of the title?
No.
It is Le Maître de Jeu, I think. Am I pronouncing that right?
The Games Master.
Yeah, so it's called Le Maître de Jeu, which I guess translates to the Games Master. It's on Novo in Quebec and maybe the rest of Canada as well. And
probably.
Yeah, it stars Louis Morissette and Antoine Vezina. And Louis is playing the Games Master, and Vezina is his assistant. And what they do is they get 5 Quebecois comedians to perform like different games and activities. And they record all that, and then they bring them into a studio, and they watch back the video of what they've done, and the Games Master gives them a score of 1 to 5, depending on their performance.
Judging from Quebec comics' lack of sensitivity, I feel like there's going to be a countdown of time to blackface, and it is running.
Some of them seem very Quebec-y, you know? Like, some of them seem more like a real person, but some of them definitely seem like they're in some sort of heightened character state. So it'll be interesting to see. One thing I thought was interesting about this show is that Louis is smaller than Anthony, his assistant, which is not like a traditional dynamic you'd see in this type of show, although I can't pinpoint anything else that does exactly the same thing. But that sort of fits with, you know, the whole like maybe Napoleon complex sort of thing that goes on with French speaking. Le Maître de Jeu. Recommend it. And that's how I leveled up. Jim and Matt left.
How you leveled up? Yeah, they're gone. they just ran away. All right, so I guess it's time, and we're at the hour mark. How about we start the quest log?
Live!
Yay!
Somebody,
hey, this game's great.
We have a question to ask that we usually ask, but I feel like it's the same for everybody. Are we all baby fresh eyes here?
Sure
yeah,
am.
nobody's ever played this.
Wow. Vanessa?
Did somebody say little baby
didn't that
fresh
give me the
eye?
impression? Jesus fucking Christ.
We got an email today that was vehemently against the little baby fresh eyes.
Good.
Oh no, somebody
No.
don't like me?
Oh
Aw,
I
Damon.
will say
I'm
too at the I will
advocating
say,
for an abortion is what I'm saying.
I think we said this at the top of the last episode, but like we should say this at the top of our coverage. We are playing this game chronologically. Like you have the ability in this game to pick whatever chapter you want, play in whatever order you want, but we're doing it chronologically. I think that's important.
Thanks for the guidance. I'm overwhelmed by the possibilities.
Somebody hit mute on Vanessa, please, and let's. So we're all baby fresh eyes. We're all playing it on the Switch because that's what the new remake is on. So I guess not a lot of interesting information there. But should we talk a bit about Live Alive? Like, what is it? We can't just dive into prehistory. We have to tell about what the fucking deal is.
I don't even know, and I'd barely even heard of this game. I think
You have played this whole game already.
I have not. That's a baseless
haven't played the
accusation. I
last
have
chapter.
played 2/3 of this game already.
Me too.
It's a
Jim as
Squaresoft
well.
game.
It's a Squaresoft game.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Fan beloved. I think I'd only heard of it because it sort of had a famous fan translation. Because it, like, either...
Oh,
I
really?
think it was available in the United States, but the original translation was not favored by people. And so fans worked pretty hard to do a new translation for it.
That's cool.
So it has... it's developed it came out in 1994. It has a very Chrono Trigger flavor to it. It feels very Chrono Triggery, except that this version
the combat's
does have
not Chrono Triggery at all.
But there's something about like the sprites and I don't know. There's something about it that feels Chrono Triggery to me.
Maybe.
The music is the designer is Takashi Tokita. Let's see what other games Mr. Tokita has worked on. Let's see. Oh, he was one of the directors of Chrono Trigger. And
whoa!
Parasite.
This game is very Chrono Triggery. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah. The bouncer. A lot of those later Final Fantasy ports. Lots of stuff. Takashi Tokita is the designer, and I thought was great. The music is fantastic in this game, and it is by Yoko Shimomura, and she's the one who did like Street Fighter 2. That's like her biggest soundtrack claim to fame. And Final Fight. Let's see, what's another good one? Breath of Fire, Super Mario RPG, Parasite Eve, the amazing music in that. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and Bowser's Inside Story. She's done a lot of them.
Wow. This game feels like, I don't know, everything feels so lived in. I like it.
And she's done a lot of the music for the Kingdom Hearts spin-offs, not the main series. Like Chain of Memories and Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance. So there you go. She's done. Oh, and she was on Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. Streets of Rage 4.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's cool. And so this was, I'd heard a little bit about it before as like one of those games that we never got here, and like this and that Bahamut Lagoon sort of as those, and Moon I guess as like those.
Yeah. Now that I've played it, I have to kind of agree. Like, it's a shame that we were robbed of this for so long, because this game is awesome. So good.
And so the remake has that Octopath Traveler style 2D, 3D thing. And I always like the style of these. They're pretty.
I think it definitely works better here than Octopath, I think.
Whoa!
Whoa! Vanessa Alar.
Vanessa just turned into a robot.
Alar.
It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous game.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, it takes such good advantage of it keeps a lot of the fidelity of the sprite art intact, and does a lot of cool things with the environments and the long shots of the landscapes and stuff. So good, so well thought out.
Do you think the bosses were gigantic in the original Live Alive?
Yes.
Were they? Okay.
I don't know. Maybe because they definitely are an Octopath Traveler, so maybe.
I think it makes them easier in Live Alive.
Yeah, it does have a gameplay thing in the way that.
It's shocking how many of the enemies have huge hitboxes. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of even basic enemies at least have two.
The last boss of this chunker is
half the battlefield,
half the screen. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's got it's not real time like Chrono Trigger, but it's almost like a Chrono Trigger style battlefield, just without the real timey elements to it.
So, what is Live Alive, John? What kind of game is this? It's a JRPG,
a turn-based JRPG /
but
adventure. I call it almost like an adventure game too.
Because instead of having your typical story with a character that you start with and do the hero's journey with, this game is broken up into time periods. And it seems like each time period is its own little JRPG.
Yep. And complete with credits and everything. I don't know if there's like different designers on each one.
Yeah, I haven't noticed whether the designers are different in the credits, but I did think that was really interesting, and it makes it feel like a series of tiny games. I assume that there will be a through line somewhere, but we haven't gotten there yet.
I mean, like those Octopath games, isn't the big complaint that there isn't really a through line? It's just a bunch of stories.
I think there is a through line towards the end.
I mean, like the Saga games do this, but you play different characters all kind of doing the same story, I think, and seeing different perspectives.
Yeah. Now, Jim sleeps in the middle of his bed. Look at that. There's a Jim-shaped line down the middle of that
bed. I don't. The left side of my bed is super sunken in right now. I need to flip my mattress
around. Or is that a dog? What is that in the middle of the bed there?
Yeah, it's Chungus.
It's Chungus?
The fat cat. Anyway, this one's broken up into time periods, and this, as we said last week, this week we're covering we're doing this game in chronological order. You can choose your own path, but we played prehistory, and then we played Imperial China. So now is a good time to dive into this fucking game. John, the first thing that you notice about prehistory is that there is no dialogue. And I fucking love it. Finally, a game that I can play without my compulsion to masturbate while reading dialogue, you know?
I really enjoyed this. Break.
I loved this no dialogue. It was fun. Characters, instead of saying something, will just point in a direction.
It just reminds me of like those very early Final Fantasy games where they had kind of like a lot of whip, whip, blink, blink kind of cutscenes where characters are just animating. And so it was a real throwback. I was like, oh, this is an old game. Like, Secret of Mana style cutscenes here. But only from the first chunker. I would say after that, it gets more modern feeling.
Mm-hmm. My only problem with it is that I just don't love a prehistory. I just don't find this particularly interesting or fun. It's always kind of the same thing. There's like dinosaurs and monkey men, and that's kind of it.
I agree with you,
It's always
Matt.
presented. Everybody's always like so simple. It's always the same, you know? And certainly, every time there's a prehistory in one of these games, they always do this same like caveman, cave woman. It's always the same fucking thing. Even
also,
Chrono Trigger
it's very fucking Chrono Trigger with the like ingredients that you can get for different things. Like in the prehistoric part of Chrono Trigger, there was also this things where you would get like dino shit, or not like actual shit, but like the dino thing. Yeah. There is actual shit in this game. We should probably make that distinction.
Oh, there is farts aplenty in this.
There's farts and shit in later chapters. There's also more poop. Really? There's a lot of poop. Yeah.
Wow, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for the poop.
Spoilers for the poop.
I don't like it.
This did feel very like, it felt like even the color palette and everything was very like that Ayla chapter of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. It felt so much like that Ayla. And it's interesting that this came first. I'd assumed it had come after. But this is
even the animations of the gorilla friend or the ape friend that you have, he's not a gorilla. The ape friend that you have is very similar to those ape enemy. He is a gorilla. Oh, he is a gorilla. Well, I guess a gorilla is an ape, yeah. But
one of the great.
Even his animations feel similar to those like winged ape enemies that were in Chrono Trigger. Like there's so many similarities. It's weird.
The one thing I do not like because there's no dialogue, I think the story's told through exaggerated animations, and then like I don't think this was in the original Super Famicom version. The loading screen gives you like all this detail, like they're sacrificing her to the dragon god Odo. It's like what? But the loading times are so short. You have like 1 second to read that text.
It was not designed for a contemporary console that will just load it in an instant.
Yeah. I'm glad that there's not super long loading, but it goes boop. I did not get anything about a dragon god Odo from playing this. Only reading about it after.
I don't have no idea what you're talking about.
Or dinosaur, I guess
the last Dino boss, yeah.
Dinosaur god Odo. Sorry,
I mean, I wasn't surprised that there was a dinosaur at okay, we'll get to it.
Well, I am because, we all know.
Yeah.
I don't have to explain why I'm surprised there's a dinosaur.
Yeah, because we were expecting a King Kong.
Yes, exactly.
You were? I was expecting like a what do they call them in Chrono Trigger? A reptite?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's going to be a reptite.
Oh,
I was waiting for the T-Rex.
Like a reptite style enemy, yeah.
There's always a T-Rex in these fucking things.
It's got to be a King Kong. Sacrificing a lady to a big thingy. That's a King Kong.
There's also an ape in your party, though. He's going to like kill his uncle King Kong?
Maybe he will. Maybe it's like a Hamlet situation.
Well, maybe it was intentional misdirection, gang.
So, one thing I noted, your main character, Pogo, is from this caveman tribe, and there is a distinct sausage fest to his caveman tribe.
Mm-hmm. Caveman. Man being the operative word.
What's up with that?
Bros.
Vanessa, what do you think? Why are there no women in this tribe?
I will tell you why. In this prehistory society, they are operating very much like a lion pack or a family of apes, wherein there's one breeding male and then the other males are banished from the breeding tribe. Sometimes then these banished males will form hunting parties together and sort of be families in and of themselves rather than try to go it alone. But they won't have access to females unless and until they can challenge the breeding ape who is in charge of that family of females.
See, that's why apes aren't as smart as humans, because the humans, all the apes gang up on the ape. Mm-hmm. But the apes, they're like, nah, we got to observe these rituals.
Now, the opening cutscene actually is not about Pogo. It's about this girl who you find out from menus that her name is Baru. She is being driven in Flintstone-style cars.
I love these Flintstone cars.
Complete with engine sounds. And she is tied up, but she manages to escape the convoy. And that's sort of the opener to this game. Then cut to Pogo and his friend Gory, and they are being challenged to hunt deer meat by the Elder. Mm-hmm. And this is almost a mini game. You have to use the mechanic of this is that there's not random encounters. If you use your sniff, you'll see a sniff, a cloud of scent, and that's usually random enemies, although your Elder also smells, and I love that. One of the scent clouds is just the smell of your Elder.
I like that there's a trail left behind. Mm-hmm. Like you can press the sniff button to find like a scent, and then if you press it, even if there's not an enemy encounter right there, if you press it again, there'll be a smaller little scent icon
it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That there's the little dots that you can follow to get meat and all that, because meat is also a healing item, and giant haunches of meat are real good because they like heal a massive area. So you get all communicated through grunts, icons, like they'll say something, the Elder will speak, and there's a little graphic icon of a haunch of meat and then a picture of a deer, which I thought was fun. That was cute. And a lot of
cool. A lot of grunting. A lot of Tim Allen grunts in this.
Mm-hmm. And Pogo going, Pogo! So you're going out to this hunting field, and you got to bring some haunches of meat back to the boss. And I think you need 3 haunches. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So you bring it back, and everyone's happy with you. However, you wake up during the middle of the night for some reason. I can't remember why you wake up during the middle of the night. And you go to the food storage, and someone has been eating the food.
I think that Pogo, or not Pogo, what's the ape's name?
Gory.
Gory is
the
missing.
gorilla.
Yeah, Gory is missing, so you wake up to go look
Gory.
for him.
Oh, right. His name is Gory, isn't it?
No, sorry, I was talking to Siri.
Oh. I was like, I said Gory.
I wasn't
was
talking
go with
sternly to you two.
We were so shocked by it that we just stopped talking.
I think the listeners will be able to hear my computer talk.
So we find him in the storeroom, and Pogo's like, "Oh my god, you ate all the food!" And Gory's like, "No, not to be."
Mm-hmm. And you see a little shaking haystack.
Uh-huh.
There is.
Yes.
A little game you gotta play.
There's a little game you have to play.
Oh.
First you have to play this little
good game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to leave, actually, the room, and then you see it moving around, and then you have to go back, and then you have to use your little sniffer to sniff out which haystack smells real good, like flowers.
Which haystack smell like girl?
Which haystack smell like girl. And then you poke it, and girl runs to a different haystack, and you have to use your sniffer again, over and over and over.
I mean, you really can just watch where she goes, I think.
Yeah, that's true. You can do that as well.
Yeah.
And finally, she sort of corners herself, and then you can leave
again.
Yeah, you leave again. You can leave a big piece of meat because she has been eating up so much meat.
She's a hungry girl.
She's a hungry girl. She's a hungry, growing girl.
These are children. It's awkward.
Mm-hmm. So then...
Why so many games have children? I don't like this.
Children like games.
It's a real Old Beach situation.
Yeah, it's Old Beach. But, it's fine. There are ancestors.
That's true.
Wait.
So
your ancestors, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they are.
So after feeding her, she becomes your friend. She gives Pogo a little kiss on the forehead, and Pogo has a painful erection. Just the worst.
Oh my god.
Painfulest. Just one of those achy boners, and his face goes red and his hands go over his crotch. That's how I interpreted that animation. How did you folks interpret that animation?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was hiding his erection. Yeah. I didn't think it was painful. I thought it was embarrassing, but, same diff. Like, he was hiding that erection. Mm-hmm. Jim, do you think this child was hiding his erection?
Yes. The whole theme.
List
the whole theme of this chapter is that Pogo wants to fucking bust a prehistoric nut.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That it. This whole thing is just Pogo wanna bang.
Pogo wanna fuck.
Well, he's never seen a woman before, so he's just like,
that's
I like
right.
that.
He like puberty hits him like a wrecking ball. He's like, I will do anything for this.
I mean,
person.
I understand. When I first discovered my fondness for Beefy Boys, I was the same way. And so then there's a lovely scene of them realizing that they have to figure out sleeping arrangements. So Pogo kicks Gory out of Gory's bed and then does invite Baru to sleep next to him. He does push the beds together too. Oh boy.
Yikes. He wants to play doctor.
Yeah.
Cave doctor.
And she's like, okay. And so she sleeps on the furthest edge possible. And then Pogo has beautiful dreams of being in a field of flowers and then turning to kiss Baru, only to wake up and, oh no, he's kissing Gory.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Who is sleeping in the middle of the two beds, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Baru, who I keep wanting to call Ayla, Baru was sleeping in a haystack.
Very Ayla though.
Mm-hmm. And then, unfortunately, there's an attack.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, to get Ayla to your room, you do have to hide her in a haystack.
Yeah, there's sort of a mini game-ish kind of element to that.
Mm-hmm. The tribe is under attack by the Ku, which is the bad tribe led by... Oh, what was his name? I put it in the notes.
He has
Zaki.
beautiful flowing hair.
Yeah, Zaki, the anime caveman with beautiful flowing
He's the anime
hair.
caveman who's always flipping his hair.
He's the guy that Barut says to not worry about.
This is like the Dalton. Do you guys remember Dalton from Chrono Trigger? This
Yes.
is the Dalton of the prehistoric era of Live Alive.
Mm-hmm. And he does he does a hair flip every time. His sassy hair flip. I love it. And so they're coming to take Baru. And they've invaded and beat up all your friends. And you got to fight a whole bunch of cavemen. And then you got to fight Zaki. And I really like the combat. I like how it works. It reminds me, it's kind of got a bit of Chrono Trigger to it, a bit of Enchanted Arms, maybe Trails in the Sky to it.
It's not turn-based, it's timer-based. And
Action. That's like a Final
It's
Fantasy VI
action-based.
thing, right?
They won't move until,
Gauge.
like, every square you move takes a chunk of time.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
But if you don't move, no time passes.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's a
so
better
like
description.
moving or selecting a menu action like a menu command will eat up your time.
You have an action bar, and if you move it,
And so do the
like
enemies.
everything freezes when your bar is full, but if you move, it knocks a little bit off.
Same with the enemies. So your enemy's bar will fill up as you move around the field.
Yeah, if you move, then you get a little bit knocked off of yours and a little bit added to your enemies. So you can move around, but you're playing with the timer there. It's fine. I mean, it's not like game-changing combat, but it's interesting and different. The
different
enemies are very
attacks
large.
have different areas of effect, so you need to be up close, or in some cases distant, or diagonal from them. Even some of them.
Mm-hmm. In some ways, it's like a in between, like a Final Fantasy VI and a Final Fantasy Tactics, or a Fire Emblem. Anyway, but it's fun. Like I've been enjoying it. The enemies are very large for some reason. They cover multiple squares, so your attacks can reach them often, even if you're not actually that close to them. Mm-hmm. On top of your like long area attacks, which in caveman times is the fart attack.
I thought we'd gotten away with this. We finished South Park, and I'm like, well, at least that's never going to happen again. Then it happens immediately again.
I mean, not immediately. We played two other games
Okami
since
also
then.
had Pete, piss, and farts. Don't
Yeah,
We
forget.
also played
Okami
Wolf
had a
Among
poop?
Us.
Did that have?
Wolf Among Us did not have any total humor, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess not.
I agree. It's immediately. Wolf Among Us 3 episodes.
I bet Big
Less
B
than a month
would
is
fart
immediately.
on someone, though.
Yeah, he would. The gorilla
Yeah,
has
those
a
gross
shit
dog
attack as
farts.
well, where he just like poops in his hand and throws it, and it like
I
poisons the
forgot about the poop
entire.
throw.
It's called poop throw, or like
Yeah,
throwing
throw
poo
poo.
or something.
It poisons like a 6-block grid, which is actually pretty fucking great. I abused.
It is pretty great.
I abused the heck out of this.
I will say that though you do need to grind a little bit, and right after this you get some random encounters that just fill the attack board with enemies, and I had to run away a couple of times. But once you've leveled up a little bit, this game is not difficult, at least in the
You're
first
right.
2 chapters.
I died once at the end of this chunker, which was shocking. Not here. I was able to. There is a fight that traps you. Are we there yet? Did we talk about that? Am I moving ahead too far?
You might be. Where are we at? We're fighting
Where are
this
we?
guy with the big flippy hair. Do we beat him? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
So a bunch of cavemen with different color hair pull in, including Flippy Hair Boy, who John loved, and they all pull in to the cave that you're in on motorcycles. gang?
No, Flintstones cars.
Why?
Yeah.
I guess they're like Flintstones motorcycles.
It's like a motorcycle with a little house in the middle. 2 motorcycles with a little house in the middle.
I can tell you've been rewatching that show, Burger Style.
Yeah, guys, yeah. There's motorcycles.
It's the dumbest fucking sketch in the whole fucking show.
It is. But also, it's so ridiculous. It's funny to
It's
quote.
the one that would
weird.
fit onto Saturday Night Live the most. You know what I mean? Anyway, they have motorcycles. I thought that was fucking... What a silly thing.
Mm-hmm.
What
They
a
have
goofy
cars,
fucking thing.
or
They have
2
cars.
motorcycles with a house in the middle.
They're one person. They're one-seaters. That's they're
No,
with
well, they're
wheel
just
on the
sitting
front,
in the,
wheel
they
on the
haven't
back.
designed it ergonomically. But they have 4 wheels, so they're not motorcycles. They're ATVs, if you want.
I didn't think. Okay, well, maybe I just misremember what they look like.
They have 4 wheels.
Yeah,
So
all right,
then
you look that
all
up.
the cavemen
I'll look
do
that up.
bug out immediately. And leaving Zachy without a car, he does have to run after the cars. That was great.
Yeah, that was cool.
Some amazing animation. However, the elder of your tribe realizes you've brought a lady in, and this is a boys' club. No ladies allowed. So you are exiled.
That makes sense. You're right, John. I'm looking at them again, and they're like go-karts. They look like little go-karts.
Yeah.
I thought they were little motorcycles. I guess I just had
No.
bad dumb eyes.
Ladies
You
allowed.
just have motorcycles on the brain. Your real roadhog. Your real I don't know.
John, remember Johnny from Chrono Trigger?
Your real Johnny from Chrono Trigger.
Oh, wait, he was a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Remember when Johnny showed up in Chrono Cross but was dead?
Yeah.
That game was amazing, though.
Fucking crazy game.
Yeah, it's fucking bonkers, but it's so good.
That game's so bonkers I can kind of barely remember it. You know?
I think
if
we
you
were
ask me
rating-
what happened in it, I'd be
Yeah.
like, I do not know.
I mean,
Johnny had
you
a
changed
plethora
protagonists
of
for the
Beastie Boys.
middle of the game and played as the villain, and it was awesome.
Oh, that's right.
It was so awesome. And then you change back and
And you get the ghosts of Chrono and Marley talking about how you killed them or something.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that.
What a
I
great
don't
game.
like that.
Jim didn't finish that
bad.
game, right? Jim bailed on
Yeah.
that one. And he was loving it. But then he was like, he turned the corner from like, I hate this game to I like this game. And then he stopped
I did
playing
like
it.
it. Well, I did like
I
it, but I
think
got
that in retrospect, he quit in protest, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No,
I
I didn't-
refuse
no, I didn't-
to have my opinion
didn't-
changed.
No, I didn't quit in protest. I quit because I skipped one of those optional side missions, and I felt way too underpowered to continue. That was why I quit. But I do like that game.
I mean, when we played it, we played the remaster that had the cheat buttons, right?
No,
No.
No, I know we didn't. I'm just kidding.
I wish it did.
So,
Yeah, I do too. It came
you
out.
get
Why did we
exiled.
not wait?
to these desolate plains. There's lots of random. This is where there's some really tough random encounters with like that fill the screen with enemies, and until you get some good attacks that fill the screen with attacks, like there's some really cool attacks. Like there's one where Pogo breathes fire, and then that panel burns whatever's standing on it.
Well, yeah,
And-
that one does a lot of damage too.
yeah.
I feel like the elemental attacks, and like I've played through the same, actually I think the same as Vanessa. Like I'm like 2/3 of the way through this game. There's not a lot of elemental attacks, but when you can find one, they do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 in China.
Yeah, you get 2 when you
China's kind of the last time you see him for a second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's also these. I don't. Is it the
China.
poop throw that does the patch of poison? Like
It does, yeah.
poisons a 3x3 grid.
It's either poop throw or one of those fart attacks.
Poop throw
Yeah.
poisons the grid, which is fucking amazing.
If you guys had a specialty attack in an RPG, what do you think it would be? Like something,
I mean,
something
this
that
fart
would
attack
damage.
is right on because it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does do a shitload of status effects, which is amazing. Like you can, I don't remember what it's called in this game, but where you like cancel their fucking action bar. It's amazing. I had to cheese a boss in this chunker using the fart command.
I would summon a bunch of beefy boys and just fill the screen with supportive beefy boys that attack the enemies and buff me.
There you go.
Yeah.
That would fit right into Final Fantasy VII too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I would have
Metalist beefy boys.
Yeah. I'd have talk to the manager where I
oh no.
I get someone's
Your hair
manager
turns into
in.
that
come on.
big bowl haircut.
Yeah, my hair turns into the bowl haircut.
Yeah. The big like helmet haircut.
Yeah.
If I may, you, Vanessa, would definitely have yours would be fucking Taskmaster, and you would be the Taskmaster, and everybody would have to do your tasks.
That's true. It would be like,
and they would always fail.
0 points.
Negative 500 HP.
My little assistant would come out, and they'd have to like do an obstacle course sort of thing with a creative artistic element, and I'd just be like, 1 point to everyone, and they'd be like, oh, the ego blow would just get them. I like that attack. Thank you, Matt.
Sweet, yeah. It's a good one.
Jim?
Made
him forget it. You had one.
I did have one and I forgot it.
Nice.
It would be an amnesia attack where the enemy forgets what they're doing.
There's a couple of paths I didn't go down. There was like another area in the middle of the map. If you go north, it looked like there's a bridge somewhere. I didn't go that way because I ended up going down into the cave.
So what's in the cave?
The cave, that's where I met, what was his name again? Miku? No. Zaki. I met Zaki again, and he there's a whole trap where you fall down a pit, and he kidnaps Ayla, and you.
I don't remember that.
I think there's different ways you can go.
This is for me at least. This is you get trapped in a one-on-one fight. You've had Gorilla the whole time, and I was underleveled here because I didn't think to level. To me, I was like, this is the very beginning of the game. Clearly, I don't need to level yet, but instead, I got trapped into a fight, and then I died twice, and then I had cheesed with the farts. I fucking just ran away to the other side of the screen and let the farts slowly eat his health away.
What, did you go into the cave, or did you go somewhere else?
I went into the cave. Zaki, is that not how it's supposed to go? That's all I got.
It sounds like Jim did something else.
Yeah, what happened to
Jim?
Jim?
I just went into the field, and then there's a merchant in the upper left-hand side of the field, this exile field. Mm-hmm. And then the way you're supposed to go is in the upper right. So I did a lot of grinding in the main field, and then went to the upper left and did my crafting, which was very esoteric, and I had to look up a guide for what to craft. And then when I was ready, I went to the upper right.
Did you? I just guessed. I had a shitload of stuff, so I just tried one of everything.
Yeah, me too.
In the upper right, there's a cave where Zaki,
you get a cutscene of making a fire.
Yeah, and you go to the fire, and then they ambush you.
Right,
sleeping,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he steals.
And the gorilla farts on the fire, and it makes him blow up.
Oh yeah. That was great. So the but during the night they kidnap Baru, and then you're without Baru for pretty much until the end of the game.
Which is a pity because she has some powerful attacks.
She's the only one with healing.
Mm-hmm. She has healing, and she has she can sing a song that hurts them. I guess it probably just insults them
that thing
a whole
will
bunch.
wreck everyone.
Maybe that would be my power, singing songs of insults.
Mm-hmm. So we follow him, and then he leads us to a trap where you fall to the downstairs. It's full of enemies. You got to fight your way out of that. You get back, and you do proceed to beat the crap out of Zaki, and he bails and then takes one of the cars and gets the heck out of there, but he still has Baru with him. And you follow them, and then you kind of get to the last zone. So you go into the coup camp, and the coup camp is full. I didn't explore everything in the coup camp. but I did find a room full of gorilla ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And
your gorilla's there too, right?
Yeah. I forget. Did he get captured? Oh, you get captured, right?
On the way in. No, I believe that on the way in, he sees these gorilla ladies being led around.
Right, yes.
And he
does
flips
charge
out
forward.
and runs into the village and kind of takes out some enemies on the way. And then you find him in this room with the gorilla ladies, and he's going to town, Like, there's no other way to describe what's happening. Mm-hmm.
I would say they're going to town.
Yeah.
He's kind of, at this point, a little bit like, because those ladies know what they want and are not afraid to get a piece of that hot, gory action.
No, they are not. He's going to experience a lot of chafing and a lot of probably physical exhaustion and dehydration.
Yeah, he's hopefully hydrating. He's got to get some water because these ladies, I guess, were just living there because they seem to be fully capable of defending themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're not ladies. They are gorillas.
Yeah, gorilla ladies.
Gorillas can be ladies too.
Yeah, lady gorillas.
Can gorillas be ladies? Gorillas can be female.
So when you get to the room full of soldiers,
use the word female.
If they have table manners, if they are considerate of those around them.
These are weird European upper crust requirements to being civilized. As long as you have table manners.
Well, table manners really, in fact, I'd say all etiquette is just an extension of consideration to the people around you. Some people would say, oh no, you have to know table manners to be able to signal to those around you your class status. But I disagree with that. I think that really what manners teach us is how to dine without disturbing those around us to create a pleasant experience. And I would say that the most important table manner for any hostess to remember is that if your guest spills their drink, go ahead and knock your drink over too, and talk about how you're so clumsy to distract from their own embarrassment.
It's true.
Yeah. That's how I make friends. I go out with them to dinner, and then they drop their fork on the floor, and then I throw my fork on the floor, and I'm like, Jesus fuck, I did it again. Oh, I'm so stupid. I can't believe it.
What?
My fork is on the floor. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm just the worst. I can't even eat. I'll just use my hands like a dog. Wait, dogs don't even have hands. Oh, I'm not even good enough to eat like a dog. Let's talk about arriving at the village.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the village. It's just us and our ape pal at this point. We peek over the edge of a cliff and we see these village cavemen leading several beautiful ladies into one of their caves. They are gorillas technically, but they're all, are they pink? I recall them being pink and
they're like
lovely.
A purple. Yeah.
Yeah, they're lovely purple color. They have like beautiful full lips.
They do have like Candy Kong and Dixie Kong vibes.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, because like how else do you like in this kind of medium say this is a female gorilla? You put a little pink bow on it.
Yeah, you gotta put a bow.
It's fucking hilarious. He's surrounded by all of these lady gorillas. And
Gory goes crazy. He's like, oh my God, I have to get to know these girls.
Becky.
They're so fabulous.
Gory and Pogo want to fuck so bad.
I thought it was more of a fan. He was just a fan. He's like,
he's
just
a fan.
Ladies. I have to
Pogo
go meet
and
them.
Gory both just want to freaking bust.
Oh, I see.
Waiting to bust.
He's not talking about them, not each other. But this is very much, all these guys just want to fuck.
No, Jim was saying
they're tired.
Those two.
They're tired of jerking each other off. They've been living in that cave for a minute.
Yeah.
Like they're
Pogo's
ready
always
for some
rolling
variety.
over and kissing him in the night.
Yeah.
So they Gory. You find Gory in the girl cave. The girl cave where he is. The tables have turned a bit because he thought he was trapped. They were trapped in there with him, but it turns out he's trapped in there with them, and they are horny for Gory. They want that sweet, sweet gorilla beef so hard.
Gorilla taint.
Mm-hmm. And he is going to be sore. He's a little worried by the amount of attention he's getting from these very, very not aggressive. What's a positive way of saying aggressive? Like assertive.
Very cloying.
Cloying is not a positive way of saying aggressive.
They're assertive.
It is kind of.
No,
and they're driven
and
assertive. They know what they want, and what they want is Gory. And then you suddenly get like you leave the room, and you now have a party of like 15 ladies as well as Gory. It's great. And you get to the next
one by one as you run into soldiers or something, right?
Yeah, but then you get into a room full of soldiers, and all the ladies come back, and then just take them out, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, thanks, lady," because they're so horny for Gory, and or they're just wanting to fight. You know, I don't want to put. They aren't just fighting for men; they're fighting for themselves. Mm-hmm. And you go through this room, and then you get to the sacrificial mound, I guess, where
what? Excuse me?
Sacrificial mound.
Yeah.
Where Baru.
You don't have to say it like that, John.
Where Baru is.
Why are you saying it like that?
This is sacrificial mound.
Yeah.
Baru is all tied up on a stake.
I was like, I wanna bring you to my sacrificial mound and
there's a big beefy
the lords.
There's a big beefy Matthew style elder. They're doing some kind of rite. I guess apparently according to the in-game loading screens that you see for 0.5 of a second to the dinosaur god Odo. They're going to sacrifice Baru, and that's why you're saving them. And you interrupt it. You sneak behind there, you untie her, and then suddenly, before you guys can even really fight, there's some rumbling, and everyone's like, "Oh no!" And I guess at some point you fall, right? Everyone falls into like the Dino Bone Canyon. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're in Dino Bone Canyon.
Falls into Dino Bone Canyon. Yeah.
And
that's
I leveled up a lot.
Another nickname on Dino Bone Canyon.
Yes. Your sacrificial mound meets Dino Bone Canyon.
Yeah, Dino Bone Canyon on the sacrificial mound. Sorry. Continue.
I don't know. I leveled up a lot because I walked into a cave and then there were a bunch of bad guys and I got attacked by like 50 bad guys. So I ran away and then it took me back to the screen where I had walked into the cave and I just kept getting attacked and didn't realize that I was still in the cave and had to walk out. And so I went through like legitimately like 15 fights in a row.
Oh, wow.
I jumped up several levels.
That's good then. You got all your grinding
It really did work out because you could only go to level 10. So when I got
it seemed like I was still gaining experience above level 10, but I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
I don't know. It didn't gray out or anything.
I certainly haven't tested it or like read it somewhere. That just is. That's what I thought. But
Jim's taking photos of his dog.
Jim, we just got you back. Can you join us over here? We're going to talk about a dinosaur.
It's fine. So we get attacked by a dinosaur. By we, I mean the Chief Matthew. Chief Matthew of the Ku tribe does go to attack them and does get like spat out by the dinosaur. And then you got to fight a dinosaur. And that dinosaur is pretty big.
That's cool. It looks. It reminds me of the T-Rex in Chrono Trigger, but like it was fun. It looks great.
The T-Rex in Chrono Trigger was a robot.
Was it?
He had a crank wheel, and he was in the prison in the present day.
Oh, right.
But there was also a Tyranno in the Reptite lair.
Yes.
That was also kind of a machine driven by the Reptite Grand.
The Tyranno is what I was
Priest or
thinking
whatever.
of, for sure.
So
I'm pretty sure the other character you mentioned showed up in Chrono Cross and told us that he had gone, bad.
That's a
down there,
Reptite. That's a Reptite
and then
guy.
also killed himself, and he blamed us, the player character, for existing
That's
in the first place. He was like,
a Reptite guy.
first I fucking went impotent, then suicide, and now it's your fault.
yeah, his ghost comes
dark
to
game.
torture you.
Remember how dark that game was?
Yes. So you fight the dinosaur, and then but guess who joins the fight against this dinosaur? Zaki!
Yay!
You get
It's
floppy-haired caveman boy on your side.
yeah.
Don't you also
And-
get the? Don't you also get what's her name?
Baru? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody's
for sure.
here.
And
It's cool.
in my playthrough, she was 100% the strongest character. Like
What?
I got
Really?
her I made her some kind of like hide bag or something that she used as a weapon, and it raised her attack stat to 40, which meant like when I was fighting those mammoths that were really tanky, she could kill them in one hit.
That's fantastic.
Like she was just slaying everyone. So when she got back into your party at this last battle, I was very happy.
And her Vanessa voice does like an area of attack that is the whole
Her
battlefield.
singing does an area of attack, but also she has that sing heal, which like is an AoE heal that's awesome.
She's great.
You do get a lot of items that at least for me, that I picked up and just never used.
Oh, I used them because
But,
they were useful
went
when
through
you didn't
them-
have a healer.
Yeah, and the bosses, and they have some great stuff. Like there's like heal a 6 square grid, and also give them all a shitload of status effects. It's pretty great. War games should have this.
Yeah. So you defeat the dinosaur, and then the two tribes are united. You see them dancing and singing. They've decided they no longer have to sacrifice the ladies. Maybe that's why there's no ladies, because they have to keep sacrificing it to Odo the dinosaur
how
god.
Oh,
sad.
maybe that's a good call.
Maybe that's why they have all the gorilla ladies too. They're like, well, that was our last lady, so we're gonna round up some gorillas and see if that's good enough.
You know, I think that that's logically consistent. So you get a happy montage.
You know what I think? I think that dinosaur would be perfectly fine with a man, but they just never even tried. They're
Yeah,
I
like,
was just thinking that,
It's
Vanessa.
just a hungry dino.
I think that dinosaur would be more than happy with a big fat D, but like they have never even tried.
They didn't even think to just go beyond their heteronormative ideals.
Hi, Porky.
Porky
Yeah.
is here.
it's terrible. And instead, you know what they've done? By sacrificing all their women, they've doomed their tribe to extinction anyway. Whereas if they
There's
had
a lack of
like,
genetic diversity.
But
Yeah.
why does Pogo's tribe not have any women? They're not sacrificing anybody.
Well, we only see a little snapshot of Pogo's tribe. It could be like a week. They're
I mean, Pogo has never seen a woman in his life.
The women were having a
That's
an
very
away
clear.
trip.
So
Oh, I guess that's true. Well, Pogo's always hanging out with apes and shit. Who knows what he's up to?
So did Jane Goodall, and you know she got down.
I know.
I do like that
apes?
Far Side strip that does imply that Jane Goodall was fucking the gorillas. And she liked it too, so it's fine.
John, when you lean in, your camera's not facing you. It's not on you. Thank you.
I was trying to put the camera on Porky because she's so adorable.
She is adorable, but she left, and all I could see was your shoulder while you were talking.
But she's like facing
All right,
away
hey
from
John,
the
do you want to wrap it up at the end of this? We don't have to do China. We can. We've been running for a long time.
China.
We can keep
China.
going. I'm fine. I'm not trying to
Yeah,
say I
let's
want
just
to quit.
let's just keep going. We can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the one that's got to go to work. All I got to do is drink more beer.
All right, Imperial China.
China.
Wait, what happens in between though? Like I don't want to. I'm not trying to drag it out. I'm not trying to fuck around. But you finish this chapter, you kill this dinosaur, and you get first of all you get an extended credit sequence, and for sure there's like a is it after credits? Like Pogo goes back to the. We can't skip over that.
Yeah, no, you can't.
That's the best part.
Yeah. Pogo takes his lady friend back to his cave, and they walk in, and the gorilla goes too, and the camera stays on the entrance. And then we see the gorilla being kicked out, and gorilla is kind of like sulky and sad. And then we see a dialogue bubble, our first dialogue bubble in this whole chapter, aside from grunts and things like that, come out of the entrance, and it just says, "Aye."
Great,
good stuff. Good for Pogo.
Good for Pogo, I guess.
Good for her too. I mean,
not to sound not to sound like a creep, but like by the end of this chunker, I was like, yeah, fucking have sex with that girl. Like you're a teenage boy. This is what you need. She's clearly into it. You guys have fun, you know? Mm-hmm. Why not? I'm glad that the game was just up front. It was just like, these people just fucked. The end.
Also, like, I'm glad that we're playing this chronologically, because I think in the, ranking of chapters that I played so far, this is at the lowest. So this game only gets better. This is good, but it's only going to get better.
Yeah, this chapter wasn't bad, but I agree with Jim.
Vanessa, I believe. Jim, I don't
know. You don't trust me?
You were super against the no dialogue, and I loved it. I thought this chapter was great. What a great time. I got really frustrated when I got locked into that boss fight and died. But other than that, like, what a great time.
I think the no dialogue thing, if you're not expecting it, is a tough way to get introduced to a game, especially an RPG.
I was mad when dialogue showed up.
Yeah, but also in this game, all of the dialogue, at least so far, has been so well written. Like, seriously, this game's script is incredible. So like having a whole chapter with no dialogue is like, I'm glad we got it out of the way, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I didn't mind that dialogue showed up, but I was shocked that the next chapter opens with voice acting. I did not see that coming.
So let's get into it. The next chapter, Chapter 2 for us is it's an ancient China. Is that what it's called?
Imperial China.
Imperial China.
And you are Earthen Heart Shifu, who is a kung fu specifically master, and he's looking for someone.
What a great name!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Earthen Heart Shifu.
And Shifu means like master.
Is like sensei. Yeah, it's like master. Yeah. It's the same thing as sensei.
Mm-hmm.
But Earthen Heart is such a fucking legitimately, like, what a powerful name. Like, you can change it.
It
I
is,
was like, no, thank you.
Sure.
Love this.
But also ties so well into the art of this chapter. Oh, it's so good. I like it.
Yeah.
But he's an old man, so he wants a successor.
And
he's the last practitioner of his style of martial arts. So
Kung Fu.
he wants someone to teach in order for them to pass it down. So that's his whole thing, is like he finally feels like he's mastered his style of kung fu, his style of martial arts. So he wants to figure out how to carry that. Like, okay, I didn't want to say, I wasn't sure if it was kung fu or not.
he specifically says it's kung fu.
I had a friend that got super into kung fu after high school, which is a little weird. But that was he called his master Shifu.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, as a really quick aside, I saw a snippet of a film on Twitter that starred Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah.
She she's
Mithriga?
No, Cynthia Rothrock, absolutely incredible to watch do martial arts. Like, I've never seen a man do martial arts that well.
And she did all the fight choreography for the if it's the one in the mall where she's fighting the lady down the escalator.
I saw one from her very first Hong Kong film called Yes, Madam, or something like that.
Oh, I saw the other one, Righteous something. I can't remember what. Righteous Vengeance.
Those films are, oh my gosh, like, you've never seen better martial arts in your life. Cynthia Rothrock is and was a national treasure. Like,
yeah, I wish she was in more movies.
like you see like John Wick, those overly choreographed things. Like she is actually doing splits on vertical walls.
Yeah,
in those movies. It's insane. She's so good.
Yeah, and she's
sounds
so
amazing,
good. Like,
but I don't know what you're talking about. Please
she's this blonde American lady who went to Hong Kong because she's so good at martial arts, and she was choreographing like her these martial arts movies that are really good.
I think she's like 68 right now. She got her 8th degree black belt in just one of her many styles she has a black belt in like 2016. Like she is an incredible athlete, great actress. Like her movies are so good. Like check out Cynthia Rothrock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's great.
So good.
So
Earth and Heart Shifu needs a successor.
Mm-hmm. And so he's like, well, I guess I'm going to find some disciples. So you get 3 paths you can go to. You can go to the Bamboo Forest, you can go to Wong Village, and Yunfa Market. I went to Yunfa first and ran into this very large man who was very stealthily, like Kung Fu Panda style, dodging people. And his name is Hong. And he is a beefy boy.
He is a big old beefy boy. He also, I think, is the highest level.
He's tanky.
Yeah, he's
when
super
you pick
tanky.
him up. Mm-hmm. Is it based on when you picked them up?
No.
I don't know.
When I got him, he was level 6, and I was like, holy shit. Okay.
But he's like level 6 and super tanky, but also like slow.
Yeah.
He doesn't have many moves around the field until it's the enemy's turn.
So the guy who makes soup buns is very mad because he ate all the soup buns from his restaurant and then ran away. And he does want the Shifu to punish this guy and catch him. And the Shifu is like, well, I mean, I could do that. And the poor Hong is like, oh, I'm just so hungry and no one respects me because I'm so big and strong. And he's like, well, don't worry. What you view as a weakness is not something you should apologize for. It's what makes you unique and could make you a great fighter. Why don't, instead of you going to jail or whatever, come join me and be my disciple?
Mm-hmm. It was very sweet.
Yeah, I really liked that. He was body positive. He was like, yeah, you can come and be my disciple. And so that's that. That was a fun little scene. I took many screenshots because it was so funny.
I like all the little characters here. Like the Shifu, the way he interacts with people is really. It feel like it's hard to do this kung fu master thing without coming across as like racist and stereotypical.
That's the thing too. I was like, they picked the exact right way to do it, which is they hired all Asian cast. The lead actor, the guy playing Earth and Heart, is a 95-year-old Chinese actor.
Yes, totally.
Kyung
for sure.
Woo? Kyung Woo, I think.
Well, like, and when
do the narration as well?
Well, like, as we were playing this, Matt messaged and he's like, "What is this racist Chinese guy voice?" And I looked up the actor and it's like, "Oh, it's an actual old Chinese guy." Like,
yeah.
Is it though?
It
is.
Yeah,
he's a 95-year-old.
Is the narration?
Chinese...
I just asked. Is the narration the same guy?
If it's the same voice as Shifu, then yeah, it is. Yeah.
At the beginning, it's definitely him. Like when he said, he needs a disciple, or I need a disciple to pass it on. And so
they really nailed that.
And every cast member looks like they have a Chinese name. I didn't go into the biography.
Well, and like he wasn't like a Chinese like Magic 8-Ball, like just like deploying ancient Chinese platitudes. Like he was reacting to things that were happening in the game, and it was like you're like, oh, this is actually like a wise character.
Yeah, he's not really into combat, but he wants his art to be preserved. Yeah.
I mean, some of his attacks are named after like Confucius sayings, but I think it's treated well. It's not.
It is.
I don't know. I'm not Chinese, so it's hard to say. But it seems like the best they could do with it. And there's like a segment Vanessa showed me a clip from later on that I don't want to spoil. But once again, it was like, oh, that's obviously people speaking their own language there, it's not a caricature and could have been done so badly. We'll talk about it next time. You know what I'm talking about, Vanessa, right?
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it seems like they put a lot of thought into having people from the cultures depicted, since it is real world, to portray the characters. And that's important. I'm glad that they put that much effort into it. So, next, where did you go to next, Vanessa? Did you go to the Bamboo Forest or Wong Village?
I went to Wong Village because I don't have time to dig around in a forest. But once I got to Wong Village, there were people there who were complaining about having like a tummy ache. And I didn't have anything to give them for their tummy ache. And since I hadn't been to the bamboo village or forest, I was like, I'll go to the bamboo forest and see if I can find their tummy ache cure. And I did find that and a whole lot more.
It's true.
That's what I did.
I went to the forest first. I
thought you said you went to the market first.
Second. He went to the forest second.
Yeah, I did the forest second.
Yeah, I also did the market first. Market Village Forest, that is my order of preference of where I want to spend time. Mm-hmm. But if I must leave the village to go to the forest to get some Tums, I'll do it.
The market is where Hong is. The village is where the people with the tummy aches is.
Correct.
All right, I just missed everything. Never mind me.
No, that's all right. So we head to the forest, and there we find bandits. Bandits, they are after our money and goods, and we're like, we don't have any. And then they're like, well, then we're going to kick your ass. And the master's like, fine.
It's like classic bandit behavior.
It is. Like, if they don't have anything, they don't have it. Just let them go. You don't have to kick their ass, you know?
That's what's scary about bandits is they say they want something, but who knows what they really want.
Yeah, it is scary, and it's not rational, you know? It's like, excuse me, I would like your money. I understand that you would. I do not have any. I'm not going to get more money by you beating me up. In fact, I'll probably get less money by you beating me up because then I'll have hospital bills and probably will miss some work. So
this segment had
don't beat me up.
Some of my favorite mechanics and story combining. Like, Earthen Master Shifu does not gain levels because he's already maxed out. He's so good that for all these untrained people, he's just dodging. They literally cannot hit him.
I love that.
That is so fun. So he's just like dodging out of the way, and even with these little sprites, you can kind of tell what they're trying to imply.
Yeah,
like,
I love
whoosh,
that.
Whoosh, whoosh, and it's so great. And so then he smacks her down, and she's like, "How could you be so strong?" He's like, why don't you not be a bandit? Why don't you come with me and be my disciple? And she's like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a lady. I like being a bandit. And he's like, come on.
And she agrees, and she's like, I'll go with you, and I'll learn your secrets, and then I'll use them to kick your ass, old man.
Yeah, she's a very, like, Daryl Hannah in Kill Bill character.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Except not the way that turns out.
Well, no. Like, he doesn't snatch her eyeball out.
Yeah.
But he could.
Oh, no. I guess the bride snatches her eyeball out. She doesn't poison Shifu's fish heads.
Yes. That's how she killed him. So, okay,
hold on. My favorite part of that movie is when the master eats the fish heads, and he's like, you poisoned my fish heads. And then you cut to Daryl Hannah, and she's like, I poison your fish heads. It's a very, very, like, a Tarantino thing that happens there. It's really funny.
But he was just alive.
He was only just alive. And now you can pick up these righteous herbs or whatever they're called and bring them back to the village.
I couldn't find enough for all the people.
There's a ton of them. There's like some secret passages around, and you get items for each person you heal. You only have to heal the grandmother, but there's
I missed
there's
I think
a bunch
one.
of them.
I think I just didn't have one, and I was annoyed. But I went through the forest again, and I guess I just missed the secret paths. I was annoyed. I caught some of them, but I did not have enough.
I got a bunch. I think I got everyone.
You didn't get them off of enemies, and the enemies did not respawn in that area.
No, unless you leave and come back.
No, if you leave and come back, the tigers are all gone.
No tiger?
Oh.
That was my experience. Because I was like, maybe I'll get an extra herb off of the tiger and take it back to the village, but there was no tigers.
So you get back to Wong Village and you heal Yuan's grandmother. And as you do that, Yuan runs by, bumping into Earth and Heart, and he's like, sorry, gotta go. And
Shifu.
Earth and Heart Shifu. And you go, you follow him, and you see that he has stolen Shifu's money. And he's talking to the Sun Tzu Wan, I think, his gang of beefy musclemen, and their tight little Sprite pants. It's like, oh, look at those cakes they're smuggling. And they're like, this isn't enough money. You got to pick better targets. He's like, no, I'm tired of stealing from helpless people. We should be helping. And they're like, you're an idiot. You better apologize to me now. He's like, I will not apologize. And then they say that they're going to beat him down. But Shifu makes his way in. The guy's like, you can't come in. He's like, oh, yes, I can. And then just warps to the other side of them.
Yeah. This is fucking great. And it's a joy let me just add, this is a joy to play. It's fun to have a game hand you. I thought, when we were playing this, I thought there was going to be a character switch at some point where it would be like, oh, now you take over the weakest character. But instead, most of this chunk is just you playing as this Shifu who just beats the shit out of everybody. Nobody can touch him. It's nice.
Yep.
It's like the game's pilot. It's on pilot mode. It's on easy mode. It's like, here, have fun.
But it's cool though, because like that contributes to how well it tells its story.
I agree.
Like,
it's great.
Like, it's not you don't have to level up to Shifu because he's a martial arts grandmaster.
Yeah.
Like,
it's kind of annoying when you get those characters that are martial arts masters.
It is,
and they're level
That's
1.
the thing. Yeah,
can get killed by a goblin.
They're like your apprentices that you need to train. So like, I like that it lets you choose how to train them and who to train, and when things take a turn in a minute, it's really interesting to see how it all plays out.
You're right, John. It's a lot of these games have these, you meet the martial arts, the ninja, the martial arts master, the samurai, whatever, the tough guy, and then you get
or like, I'm the guy that's going to break all the rules.
And then you get them in your party and they're level 1.
Or like one level above you.
Yeah, one level above you.
Yeah.
Like, I could have cheesed the fight with you with my fart attack if I had to. Don't act like you're tough.
So after you beat up Sun Tzu Wan and his crew, and they run away like a bunch of babbies, and Yun is like, wow, you're amazing, Shifu. Can I become your apprentice? And you're like, because he's so small. He's not fast like Lei or strong like Hong. He doesn't.
You know
he
what?
Levels up fast. That's his.
Yes,
gimmick.
He gains new abilities very quick. Can we just let's cut to the chase? What's the beefy guy's name?
Hong. Yeah.
He's the tanky guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's the woman that we picked up in the forest. What's her name?
Lei.
She's the speedy one. And then, kind of in the middle is this other character.
Yuan.
Yeah, so we can choose to
Leonardo.
train. we can choose to train anyone that we want, and I'm curious what you guys.
This is amazing, by the way. Let's explain this. It's via a series of cutscenes.
Well, first,
Shifu has
Yuan finally talks his way into being one of your disciples, anyways.
And then you go back. You take your crew. I did it a little out of order. I did Lei, then Yun, then Hong. But you take them back to the temple, and you get a series of cutscenes. Time passes between each cutscene, but in each cutscene, you have a certain number of fights. 4, I think it's always 4. And you get to fight each of your disciples, and when you do, they gain experience and level up. And you have to decide over these cutscenes who you're going to level up. And I'll just say, for me, I decided to even them out. Hong was level 6, so I didn't really bother with him. I leveled Lei and Yun up to level 6 each.
I sort of did the same thing as well, but I played with Hong as well. I think that every fight I gave 1 fight to Hong, 1 to Lady Girl, and 2 to Weaky Boy.
That's what
I thought
he
was the weakest.
Yeah.
My thing was like, I thought like, okay, this is the defense portion, so I'm going to give it to the least defensive person, which was the fast girl, and the next one was like, this is the other stat
speed.
Did it affect that way? I thought it just gave them each experience.
No,
per fight.
it also says gets +5 speed or +5.
It
defense
does.
Or +5 attack.
Yeah, it does. It has that effect on the character. So
I didn't see that.
So whichever one you dump the most points into is the one that is gonna not be.
Oh, really?
It's the one. Yeah. So it's different. It's different depending on who you choose to level up.
Wait, what? I could have saved Beefy Boy.
Yes,
Yeah.
you could have saved Beefy Boy. It's different. You can pick your own protagonist. Here,
I leveled them all up to 6.
I am going to.
for sure.
I'm going
Yun was
back.
You can replay these chapters.
You 100% can. You can replay any chapter in this game, and I want to replay it and get a Beefy Boy sunrise.
I want Lady Girl.
Me too. Wow.
I got Yun, and I guess you both did too.
Yeah, I did as
well.
well.
The middle guy, yeah, for sure.
I think Yun is the one that the game sort of wants you to get because he has a heart of gold. And I read afterwards because I wanted to know if the other ones could survive, and John is correct, or Jim, or whoever said it was. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Jim is correct. You can choose.
Yeah, Jim is.
And the Heart of Gold kid does become the most powerful if you focus on him. So his special attack can be stronger than any of the other ones.
He definitely got, in my playthrough, Ice Brand and Firebrand, which were very useful. But I am 100% playing this over again because fuck that.
I want to too because I want a female character. We don't have a lot of those yet.
Would any of the characters have gotten Firebrand and Icebrand? Or is it only Yun? You would think that they would all get the same thing, right?
I think that, I don't know. What I read said that Yun has like a stronger special attack. But I don't know if it's a different special attack or if his stat is just stronger in special.
I have a save right before training started, so I'm just going to go back.
But can you just play them again? Is that what Jim was implying?
Yeah, but then I have to play an extra hour.
You can you can play each chapter over and over again because there's secret bosses and stuff that you can go back and fight.
In some chapters, yeah. But John, I think you could go back and clear this second chapter in an hour and 10 minutes, probably.
Okay.
Because you can skip all the dialogue. You just gotta level up the big guy.
True.
Yeah.
And you know where to go, so there's no
Because it's all the same. It's a cookie cutter kind of thing. It's just what do you dump your stat points into?
So if I just fight Hong 4 times each time, will the other two be like, oh?
I mean, they'll die.
Yeah, you can do that.
Them
You
to
can.
death.
That's what the game wants you to do: is pick one student and dump all your points into that student, because like at the end of the game, that becomes very powerful.
What? Shut up! No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Whoa, we're there like right now.
No,
You
but
said at the end of the game.
Oh,
You're
the
talking
end
about
of the
the end of the
chapter,
game.
he means.
No, the end of the chapter. Is
Okay.
what I
oh
meant.
yeah,
Sorry.
okay,
I got
Okay.
you now.
yeah. So
Burger time.
back,
What
so
did he say earlier?
there's
Burger
basically
style.
a training montage.
The burger time.
And so you go through 3 sessions of
the best
training
episode
with
we've
4
ever
fights
recorded.
each. Obviously, you should be dumping it all into Lei or Hong because Yuan sucks. And then you find out that Sun Tzu Wan is attacking the Yunfa market. And
Wait, hold on. Did we all level up the same character?
Yes.
No, we already discussed it. Yes, we did.
I did
We
little wiener guy. Did you guys do
we
little
all
wiener guy?
we all
Yun.
got little wiener.
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, we all did little wiener guy. Okay.
Oh, I leveled everybody up to the same level, so
Yeah, me
it
too.
chose wiener guy for me.
Was it? Did you guys? I know John hasn't quite gotten there yet, but I was 100% shocked that these other 2 students are fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm left with little wiener guy.
Yeah, I was
didn't
so
know
mad.
What to do. I didn't mean to grind him. I just didn't know what to do.
I kept expecting Shifu to die and for Yoon to take over, which doesn't happen until
the end.
Well, we'll talk about it, but I thought it would happen like mid-chunker. And then, because Shifu's level 10, so I figured like you'd do the training and then it would make you take over as probably whoever you train the most. But instead, everybody fucking dies, and you are like, hey, let's go murder the guy that killed our friends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the restaurateur comes back and he's like, "Please help." And Shifu's like, "Well," and Yuan and the rest are really excited to help defend the village. And but Shifu's like, "Hey, if you do that, you're just gonna have more violence. Violence will respond to violence.
Perpetuate the cycle of violence."
Mm-hmm. So he goes to the village and then beats them up.
Mm-hmm.
He does warn them first, and they're like, "Oh, but we're powerful now. We have trained at under the Iron Fist style or the Indomitable Fist style. So now we're with Udi Wan Li. So we're super powerful." And they're not. You still wipe them out real fast. But then you go back to your school. You go back to the school, and everyone dead.
They all dead.
Except for one of them. Lei
And
dead.
for us, all of us, it was
Hong
Yoon that was
dead. And Yuan was hiding. He got too scared and hid behind weapons. And he's like, "Oh, you should punish me." And Chief was like, "I'm not going to punish you. What would be the point of that? You just spend the rest of your days in regret for what you did. So let's keep training with me and let's figure things out. Let's go to the Indomitable Fist Fortress and talk to Udi Wan Li."
Well, I like the dialogue here because Shifu is like, "I'm gonna go figure this out." His student is like, "I'm gonna come with you. I'm gonna make this happen. I have a lot to, I've lost everything, whatever." And Shifu is like, "No, you're gonna stay here. Like, you're gonna be my apprentice and carry this thing all the way through."
So he does show, first he buries the 2 dead ones, and then he does show the living student how to do his, super ultimate attack, and it almost kills him when he does it.
Because he's an old man.
Mm-hmm.
And just the exertion, he's like, "Oh, no."
It's only a miracle that I'm still alive to show you this, but this is, my strongest technique. I forget what the name of it is, but it's real strong. And then he goes to the fortress alone, except that guess who tags along? It's insert character here.
Mm-hmm.
He is there, they are there, and now you got to fight through. I didn't like this dungeon. Too long. Too long.
It's just boss corridors.
Yep, just fights and fights and fights, and then finally you get to the end. I did like there's one fight around a table, and you can attack the table.
Yeah, and I did. I was like, screw this table.
This was the best fight, like where you're fighting people on both sides of the table.
No, not that. The one where there's two table fights because there's like the six fights in a row.
The first one.
The first one's just like random mooks that are around a table that you can break. But then there's the next set of fights. It doesn't involve that you can't break the table, but that's where Wu Di-Wan Li introduces you to all the fighters that you are going to fight.
Yeah, you show up and he's like, hey, you're here. Check out all these fighters I have. He has like 13 or 14, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I could set them all on you at once. Yeah, I could set all 12 on you at once, and even you couldn't resist that. But because I'm a gentleman, I'm not going to do that. And then he goes, you'll fight them 2 by 2, essentially.
Yay!
Well, there's 2 of us, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So first is Sansi and Sushi. They're just dudes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Look, there's like twinks, dudes, big boys, bigger boys, women, big boys, and then an old man.
I like the 3 sisters, Lin, Xian, and Chia. Mm-hmm. That was fun. And they were sort of like the Delta sisters from Final Fantasy. And this guy had worked on Final Fantasy 4 before, so really
they each have sort of specific attacks and weaknesses. We haven't really talked about the weaknesses. You can see what kind of attack your enemy is strong or weak against before you use it. So it really enters a kind of strategy element to it. But really easy strategy because you don't have to memorize anything.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Persona games, except you don't have to go through the find them out first.
Yeah,
period.
That's true. Yep.
You can just fuck around, There's no finding out.
And find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one is
the game tells you when you are choosing your attacks if they are vulnerable or resistant to it. So there's
I love that. Mm-hmm. Tell me the status effects at the jump, please. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yipei Ku is the old man,
difference.
and he's real strong. He's a super strong old man.
Oh yeah.
And I found him much hard. Well, not hard. I didn't die in any of these, but he seemed harder to beat than Wu Di-Wan Li to me.
I had to heal. Really? For him and Wu Di-Wan Li. Those were the first times in this chunker that I had to use the items, which was great because I had 1 million.
Yeah, I had so many pork buttons and and all that.
Wu Di-Wan Li fucking one-shot me the first time I played him. Yeah. One shot.
Wow. Get good.
I don't how. I was level 10. What else can I do?
Yeah, I died in
one shot me.
I died in one of these fights. I don't remember which one. And then I did it again because I was saving in between all of them and easily beat the guy who had killed me. So I don't know why that particular fight, the dice rolled the way they did. Yeah, it can happen.
I think a lot of the difficulty in this game is based around where your character is in relation to the boss. Because,
really?
Yeah, some of these attacks can only reach you if you're up and to the right, or if you're right next to them, or if you're lower and 2 squares to the left.
And you have moves that can stop people from moving, which is very useful.
Great.
Yeah. And
Wu Di-Wan Li has a dragon something attack that hits you 10 times.
Right.
And I think it critted multiple times on that because again, I got fucking one shot.
It did 200 damage to me.
Thank God this remake auto saves because this was right before we recorded. If I was not able to load that autosave and just immediately fight him and I had to go back to where I had last saved, which was 2 weeks ago, I would have thrown my Switch against the wall, killed myself, and then my ghost would have recorded this podcast screaming at you all
I do like that
which
you
is
don't
different.
just
How?
you get knocked out first and then you can die. And
yes,
you
I
can
love that.
Heal people from just with regular healing items from the knocked out phase. Oh,
although like one of the things I really like about this game is that like what you're talking about, John, is that you can heal yourself from KO, which you don't see a lot in these games.
Yeah.
And also like what you guys are what like
thing.
But like what you guys are talking about, like not knowing where to stand in relation to a boss to trigger certain attacks, that's a primary mechanic in a chapter in the next chunker. So it's like
Great.
It's very interesting that you guys are frustrated by that because that's a whole thing in the next chunker. That's why I love this game, is it plays with all of those different mechanics.
So
it's going to be super fun.
The final Earth and Heart Shifu has to deal with the two assassins that Udi Wan Lee keeps behind his desk, I guess.
That's right.
And
I was so annoyed at the thought that I would have to fight these fucking assassins.
You do not.
You work your way through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fucking fights. Mm-hmm. And then the assassins come out, and I was like, fuck you.
Yeah. And so the Shifu is going to attack the assassins. Meanwhile, your disciple attacks Udi Wan Lee, and you both get that super attack, but you can only do it once. That super attack it's fun watching you both charge up, and then I use that right away, which takes off.
I don't think I did that at all.
Half of Udi Wan Lee's health. If you do that super
does.
attack, it's useful.
And then, if you're really unlucky, he attacks you with his Dragon Breath attack, and it fucking sends you back to the loading screen, and you're like, no.
I also equipped. I found a lot of good items and made sure to equip them on, and I think I crafted some items and stuff too. So I buffed the heck out of Yuan with all these defensive items and accessories.
When I beat him the second time, I was very careful, and his dragon attack did not kill me, and he hit it a couple of times. But I healed after every attack, basically. I did my big front attack, and then I took off another quarter of his health, healing myself and just reacting. There's a reactive attack, like something arrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it doesn't do
I was
much,
wondering why you couldn't use that attack, but it turns out it's just a counter.
Yeah, it's a counter. And so it doesn't do much damage, but I just let it do that. And kept healing myself because I was terrified that he was going to one-shot me again.
I never used the attack items. I should have done that. So after you defeat him, Yuan, or the disciple, sees that Shifu is dying, and Shifu's like, well, all I ask of you is
Shifu collapses, yeah.
All I ask is that you carry on the teachings of Kung Fu and spread it around the world with more disciples. And so the voiceover says that's what the disciple did. You see them bury Shifu with the other two disciples and practice on the Mount Ascendance or whatever it's called. And that's the end of your story, right? Was there another little bit to this, or was there a post-credit scene?
Oh, I skipped I hit that skip fucking credits thing immediately. Jim, did something happen? Vanessa?
No. You see whatever student you chose, like splitting the big boulder.
Yeah, that's right.
Because the old master had been trying to do it and couldn't.
Mm-hmm. And that's so cool that he trained another master in his martial art, and that like young master can split a stone that he couldn't split himself.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The student surpassed the teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
This game rules.
So, next time. Oh, actually, well, I guess first, are there any... Well, no, let's say next time. Next time, we're playing Edo Japan, Wild West, and Present Day. Apparently, Present Day is super short.
These are... And I've only played up to this point, but... God damn, these chapters are fun.
They're really
Vanessa shared some screenshots from Wild West that blew my fucking mind.
It feels like you're playing a completely different game, like in the best way. It is so fun.
I'm very excited. I'm a little baby fresh about it.
I can't wait to watch you. You better stream it, John.
I can't.
wanna watch
My
you stream
streaming
it.
box is broken.
Oh,
I need
it's on this.
I need a Elgato.
Oh,
I need a
John.
Elgato card.
John, were there any bullshit mini games this week?
Were there any bullshit mini games this week? Yes. The only one that I can say for sure is a bullshit mini game is in the original Caveman caves, the first one. And there's a pointing one, and you have to figure out which pot has more cavemen in it.
Or
Oh
less.
yeah.
Or
I
less.
got
It took
this
me a
right.
minute to understand what this guy was asking me to do. Because there's like 2 thought bubbles over his head. There's a 3-person one and a 5-person one. And I thought he was trying to get me to find the 8 people. Like, so which one of these has 8 people in them?
It was a little confusing. I figured which one had more and which one had less. That's what I guessed. I was playing it with Andrew Van Barsen, and Andrew was like, "How did you know what he was saying?" And I said, "I just guessed. I wasn't totally sure."
Yeah. I got it on the first try, but I did not
too.
understand what was happening. I just kind of was like, this one. This is great. And then Andrew Van Barsen also was watching me play and was like, great job.
Oh, really?
Yep. You're the
Oh, right.
best.
You
is what he
can't
said.
stream it because you don't have an Elgato card.
Well, thank goodness for Andrew Van Barsen. We say it every week.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true.
All right. Hey,
Really the 5th host of this show.
Yes,
Andrew
the
Van
secret
Barsen.
5th host. Move
Yeah,
over, Dr.
totally.
Steven Stone. Later, Julian.
Aw.
He did move over. He moved almost all the way across the
Well,
country.
that's true. That's true. I did listen to Nerds Without Pants had a 100% bullshit mini game episode all about
Oh, nice.
bullshit
Oh,
mini games.
cool.
That was fun.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway.
who wants to talk about
Oh,
what
well.
they're squarely against?
I'm gonna go first. I'll
Please
say,
do.
or
So put
next,
in emails while they're squarely against.
or next.
I don't. Okay.
I'll say that I am roundly for this game. I think it's super fun. I like how the combat carries over from chapter to chapter, but the context of it does not, if that makes any sense.
Nope, doesn't.
You kind of start over as like the main character in whatever chapter that you're in, which makes
Vanessa,
grinding.
I'm going to add in the Codab Games one.
Okay. Can you
It
put
makes
them both
the-
because I don't have that account on my computer, so it's not
Yes.
easy for me. Thank you.
I can.
This game makes the idea of grinding very interesting because not a lot carries over between chapters. But I think it's like kind of the best game we could play in this moment, I think. So I'm very excited about it. John,
I
what do
agree.
you think about it?
I am squarely against not saving Hong. How could I let my beefy boy die? I'm going to right that wrong and play it again.
It is pretty shocking that that's the choice that you made, but happily, you don't have to live with it.
So, Vanessa, what are you roundly for or squarely against?
I am squarely against fart attack, poop attack. It's the one thing that I didn't enjoy. Well, maybe I wasn't that into this sort of caveman style misogyny either. But I really I don't want to think about farting and pooping all the time, which is difficult for me because I've become a fan of British comedians recently, and I would say that 98%
Oh, I thought you were going to say
of their
cheese.
I've become a fan of cheese. I've been a fan of cheese my whole life, as you well know.
Also, you're in a group chat with me and Matt and John,
and I am in a group chat with you guys, and it happens every day.
John is the toilet king.
John's the toilet king.
Oh my god.
And he's
got a huge cod piece. He's got crazy wild 80s hair.
He's always talking about
Goblin
toilets.
King. Toilet King. Goblin
Come
Toilet King.
to the toilet.
No.
I'm Fushigiing the Fushi. Oh, sorry. Was it the? You're not supposed to call him Fushigi. You're supposed to call him like juggle balls or something.
Oh no.
Oh, Fushigi. I would love a T-shirt of John saying, "I'm a mind freak."
He's doing the fushigi, but he's doing it with a roll of toilet paper because he's the toilet king.
And he's just
juggling.
like rolling
That's what you're
around
supposed
his
to call it.
bedroom floor.
He's
Contact
doing contact juggling, with a roll of toilet paper. So yeah, I don't need that in my life. So please stop it. Just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Fushigi?
No, I love contact juggling, as we all do. Stop putting gross fart attacks in your game. Like, come on. We get it. People fart. Ha ha ha. It's so funny. It's not funny.
Has Matthew squarely against
It's pretty funny.
Matt has not squarely against. I'm not done with my rant.
Okay.
She's ranting.
I'll put a
Ranting
timer
against
on. You have a
farts.
minute.
I'm done.
Uh-oh.
That's
The
a great
anti-fart-
idea.
Against.
The
We should limit
anti-fart
squarely
tirade.
against to 1 minute.
Or any rant, really.
Yep, I'll put
Yeah.
a timer on anytime one of us
Putting
starts
the timer
ranting.
on.
And before we rant, we have to say start the rant timer.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to be aware of my rants before they happen.
Yeah,
My rants
That
just happen.
that really, honestly, this rule really would have mitigated burger style and
I don't know if Burger Style was a rant.
The other-
More
I
of a
don't think anybody
tangent.
ranted about Burger Style. That
it
was a tangent.
it was a group rant.
I think we're all
It was a
raving about
tangent.
Burger Style. We loved it. Everyone loved it. Listeners, if
I
you
was
love
like,
Burger
just-
Style,
that
write
was-
in.
Season
That's
3 of I
John
think you
did
should
not.
leave happened on this podcast.
Please squarely against Matthew.
I was roundly for the lack of dialogue in the prehistory section. Legitimately, all jokes aside, I just thought it was fun, particularly after Okami, where the dialogue was in-fucking-terminable. The jumping into this really great-looking, snappy and fun-to-play, silly game with no dialogue at all was a goddamn joy for me. So, that's it. We have 3 emails to discuss today, right? After last week,
What
we
an
complained.
embarrassment of riches. Maybe we can save some of them for the next couple weeks. Do you think our listeners would forgive that?
Yeah, I think
No,
one a
'cause
week would be
most
best
times
because
we
we
have
don't get
zeros.
emails.
Yeah,
We should stretch
do
them out.
Codabs now.
Do one.
We'll read our first email, which was from Kodak Games, and that's going to be read by Jim.
I don't have it pulled up.
That's going to be read by Vanessa.
My throat's tired.
All right, that's going to be read by Matthew. As a fan of Jukebox the Ghost, I had to respond to this call to action. I'm also thinking that Jim wants me to wreck my car as I'm driving when he demanded that I send this email. Why, Jim? Why?
Crash it. No,
Wow.
don't do that.
Also,
Don't do that.
any chance that you are going to cover Suikoden 2 now that Konami is remaking it?
Wait, how do you pronounce that?
Probably.
Suikoden.
What about Shining Force? Fuck yes, we're going to do Shining Force for sure.
Yeah, we all love
I'm sad
Yeah.
you all have not covered that series yet. I'm reading like a robot.
Yeah, you're reading it like you're not familiar with the show or what we do on
We've
it.
been recording for 3 hours. I'm very drunk. I'm going to need to wrap up my stream of consciousness here. I think I just sideswiped another car. Kodab from Kodak Games. Guys, answer this email. Why, Jim? Why? Are we going
Why
to
what?
cover
Why did you
Suikoden 2?
make him kill himself?
What about Shining
driving?
Force?
No, we'll cover
This is
those
a real
games eventually.
Stan situation, right? Like an Eminem Stan situation.
Yeah, like what do you do?
He
Yeah,
drank
what do you-
with the vodka. Dare me to try?
You know what? I can't change what we played already, but I will promise you we will play more stuff
I want to play Suikoden 2 so bad. But
if it gets a remake,
I don't know Suikoden 2
all the way.
I'm not promising Suikoden 2. I'm just saying we'll play other stuff.
I don't think there are any games on a banned list like that we've decided that we're not going to play.
Well, I said that if we
true.
don't play Suikoden 2 on the show, I'm going to make my side hustle podcast, and we'll play it with like Julian and Stan.
Yeah, and we don't like that. We don't want to share you. You're our friend.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that, but
John,
we will.
This is emotional abuse. You need
it's
to
emotional
stop threatening
abuse.
to do other podcasts.
You're basically saying like, meet my needs, or I need an open relationship.
I don't appreciate an ultimatum.
Okay, so
like, we love you. We'll do whatever you want. You don't have to give us an ultimatum.
So besides John threatening me, I will feel safe in that I really want to play a soccer game.
Soccer game? FIFA 2022?
Jim's got one eye open and one eye closed.
I love soccer.
Or Coach Ryan Reynolds.
I love the Soggers.
Mm-hmm. Matthew, have you noticed Jim has the one eye open, one eye closed?
I can't help it.
because I think I'm the same.
I can't help
it.
And I just want to play Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. I tried to go so hard for 3. Nobody
I bet if you did Fallout 2, it would win.
Vanessa, win a vote eventually.
Fuck no. If Fallout 2 wins, I will.
Start a side podcast with
Vanessa
Stan
can't win a vote. Vanessa can't win a vote to save her life.
What? She's won plenty of votes.
When?
Recently, we discovered a picture of Vanessa where she won Miss America back in 1922. So I think she's definitely won stuff in the past, guys.
Yeah, but I don't want to cling to past glories.
When is the last time you won a vote?
I don't remember.
These emails
this
are
is
about
bullshit. You have
the jukebox, the ghost.
You have intentionally chosen the most you Final Fantasy X Part 2 for sure.
I won that.
Well, that's the most recent one I can think of.
Yeah.
I feel like there were other times where I was like, that's the obvious winner.
Vanessa she had her finger on the pulse of our listeners and the gaming community as a whole, and now I don't know, she's just got too into Taskmaster and she's fallen out of it.
I was gonna say, now that I think about it, I think that was all like about 5 years ago, like 6 years ago. So maybe she's just out of touch now.
All right. Well, thanks for the email, Kodab.
Jeez.
And
that was a good email.
Yeah, it was a very good email. We'll get to the other ones. Don't delete them because I'll keep them, and we'll just delete them as we read them when I copy the document. Mm-hmm.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice that our listeners remember that they love us and send us emails again, and maybe the rest will do the same. We'll see.
Now, Vanessa, should I ask Matthew and Jim to co-explain the Patreon because it'd be funny, but it'll take 20 minutes, or should you and I do
Jim
the
can
Patreon?
do it.
Jim's locked and loaded.
Okay, Matthew and Jim, explain the Patreon.
I said Jim's locked and loaded. All right, here we go. There's this thing called Patreon. You have to go to www.patreon.com. And then
Jim,
once you get there, you search Square Roots
You gotta trade back and
Podcast.
forth. It's you and Jim.
And
hello, dear listeners. At this point, I should tell you, I guess Jim got so drunk that he smashed his face on a keyboard or something. Anyway, his track stops here. And as he was guiding the end of this episode, unfortunately this episode stops here. However, if you want to know about our personal burger styles, keep listening past the credits. Goodbye. We love you. Thanks for supporting the show, and we will definitely be reading names again next time. Oh, yeah, I was going to level... You guys stopped my level up, and I was going to level up about She-Hulk, but I guess...
Yeah, I want to talk about She-Hulk, but first I want to talk about how Vanessa's mom slid into my DMs.
It is true. Ish. This is a true-ish story.
Vanessa's mom... Vanessa, I find your mother quite fascinating.
No! Listen, I'm going to tell Matt's level up because it's not actually something that happened to Matt. It happened to me. So I had just, it was verbatim. I had made some delicious verbatim for dinner for myself, and my mom was here too. And I have a bone to pick. Every time I send you guys pictures of like the delicious food I've made, it's almost as if you don't want to be receiving these pictures because
it looked amazing. I was so confused. What's verbatim? I thought that word meant something else.
I thought that food looked good, but I was not going to grace that joke with any kind of positive reaction.
Don't get it.
Made at my expense.
Listeners, if you get that
Burger
joke,
time, burger
write
time.
in.
Now I get it.
Yes.
Burger time. Man, I was staring at that picture going, it looks like she made some delicious burgers.
Yeah.
Those burgers did look real good.
I'm dumb. I apologize. It was a good joke. Good joke. Good pick. 10 out of 10 would eat.
It was a joke for sure.
So we were just sitting down and my phone dinged and I looked at it and I was like, you didn't just send me a link about Look Who Died on Facebook Messenger, did you? Because your hands are full of verbatim, so I know that you couldn't. So she was like, no, I did not. And we realized that her Facebook account had been hacked. This happened to a friend of hers earlier, like last week, and clearly
Quick question.
She did. Yeah.
Was she sharing her password on a podcast?
No, she wasn't doing a Johnny-style hack. This was one of those things where you get like a link. It's like, hey, check this out. And then you click the link and then somehow it gets access to your account.
Yeah.
So she had sent this message, not she, El Hacker, who was based in LA, according to the Is This You thing, had sent the link to like maybe 30 people. It wasn't all of her friends, but it was a chunk. And one of them was Matt, because Matt apparently is... Why are you Facebook friends with my mother? I have no idea.
That's right. You don't know.
So continue.
I feel blessed. I feel graced. I was driving down the road when I got the message, so unfortunately I couldn't stop immediately to respond. I would have. Then I got a follow-up message that said, if you slide into my mother's DMs, you better have the best of intentions, or something like that.
Yeah.
She left me spiraling in confusion.
Yes, because I took it on myself to unsend all of the messages that had been sent.
I did see that.
And started to DM Matt as my mother. But mostly it was threats.
It was all threats.
What?
Yeah. It was, I mean, it turned me on, let's be honest. Johnny, you wanted to talk about She-Hulk.
Nah, I was just more teasing because Vanessa refuses
I
to
didn't
watch
finish
it.
it.
Yeah, does not
She
allow
watch
us.
it.
Frustrating.
She skipped my award-winning stream last night to watch She-Hulk.
Well,
I
that
wish
was
you
the
did finish it?
other terrible irony. No, because we were sitting down for verbatim and She-Hulk. So...
Did you tell your mom the verbatim joke?
No, I don't think that she does know that.
Actually, I had
want her to
verbatim.
think I'm a
after work
laughing
today.
stock. I'm not a laughing stock.
So...
I had some verbatim today. I said
Me
no.
too,
No, I would
actually,
not
'cause-
like some verbatim. Thank you. And then somebody showed up with a bunch of verbatim, and I was like, yes, this is my life. Even when I'm trying to not kill myself, I can't escape it.
Yeah, I'm pretty cringe about having had verbatim 2 nights in a row, but I had 2 leftover patties that I didn't want to freeze, didn't want them to go bad. So what I
Ain't
did
nothing wrong with that, buddy.
is I made some verbatim and I made some guacamole, and spread the guacamole, and then put the verbatim patty right on there. And that was my dinner tonight.
That's yum.
Last
when
night,
I make
after
burgers,
I had it, I was like, I ate too much, and then I ate the same amount tonight.
When I make burgers on the grill, I always make an absolute shitload and just stick them in the fridge and eat them for the week.
Oh, that's
Basically.
clever.
Hey guys, what's your favorite burger style?
Do you mean to make yourself or to just have in general?
Like your favorite burger style. Doesn't matter who makes it.
You're not clarifying.
What's your burger style?
Like your favorite
Yeah, what's he
style of
talking
burger.
about?
Like what's your favorite kind of burger?
Do you think
Like,
that
what-
repeating
like
yourself
toppings?
is going to make it make more
Toppings.
sense?
What else
Why don't you
could
try
I
being
mean?
louder? That'll help.
What else could I mean? What else could I mean?
I didn't know, like how
John,
we
what's
like
your
to
burger
eat
style?
it. Yeah.
What's my burger style?
What's your burger
Yeah.
style?
Well,
If you could order a burger any style, what would it be?
I really like a nice cheese and peanut butter burger.
Oh, gross.
That is super gross, but also seems very Canadian. So
I actually, there's a place around here that serves that and also serves a burger that has sour cream on it, and I fucking love that thing. More burgers
that
with
sounds
sour
good.
cream.
Cheese and peanut butter is good. If I'm home, I just put a little cheese and hot sauce on it.
All right. I like that. Matt, what's your burger style?
I mean, my burger style's classic. Like, I like some cheese. I like some real sharp, freshly cut onions, lettuce, mustard, bleeding off the edges, and some ketchup.
It's a little disappointing. Neither of you guys have mentioned buns yet. You're not talking about buns. Do you have a bun preference?
I mean, you asked us burger style. We explained to you that we didn't know what you
Buns
meant, and now you're
are a
mad.
part of the burger.
Is this a
Burgers
fucking
have
I think
multiple
you should
components.
leave bit?
No, I want to know.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I want to talk
Vanessa,
about
what's
this.
your burger style?
All right, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Vanessa knows.
I would say that I have a pretty diverse burger style based on my interests. I do like a traditional, like gluten-containing bun. I like it to be a bit soft, but toasted on the side that joins the burger. You know, so like toast
Not on the
it
top.
with some
You
butter.
like
Not on the
and
top.
The bottom of the bun are burnt.
Yeah, no, I like the interior to be crispy, and then the top that my little hand squishes to be soft and pleasant to touch and not
Okay.
too greasy.
Okay.
I enjoy a burger from a place nearby me that is brie cheese and honey, which is
interesting.
really
Okay.
delicious and interesting.
How was the honey incorporated in?
Just sort of like a sauce.
Like in a sauce? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a brie honey sauce?
No, the brie is on there. Like it's straight up got the
What's
brie
in the
cheese
sauce?
on it. Honey. I mean, it's used. It's just honey.
Sounds like just honey.
It's just honey,
What's your
but
sauce
it's
style,
used
Vanessa?
as a sauce. I also like one from a different place nearby that has. Oh no, someone's going to be able to triangulate me through these hamburgers. It
So
has-
throw in
Get out your Vanessa Stalker
couple
notebook.
of fake ones.
Yeah,
You got
I love,
hamburger docs.
I love a
There's
Mickey
a place by
D's.
me that
and-
serves hamburgers with bees.
Yeah, there's a place by me that serves hamburgers with 24 karat gold leaf and
Ugh.
a Wagyu burger, so I like that.
Bean burgers
also,
are a thing, though. Black
What a
bean
waste
burgers.
of Wagyu.
I also like a caramelized onion and bacon and horseradish burger. That's around here. Gives it a
I
real
think
like,
horseradish
sharp
is
bite.
underrated.
Horseradish
agree.
is underrated. It goes great with
Horseradish is
whiskey
underrated.
too.
I
Horseradish
like
and
it
whiskey.
for sure.
in very small
Fantastic.
doses, though. Teeny
Oh, yeah.
doses of horseradish.
As a matter of fact, I always get it on the side so I can control how much horseradish is going on. And then a nostalgic favorite from my youth in old Seattle, Washington. There was a place by the quote-unquote beach, which of course is just like on the Sound and a bunch
A
of rocks.
place where you go to grow old.
Place where you go to grow old. They would do a hamburger with a slice of pineapple on it. Like a grilled pineapple. I know this is as controversial, if not more, than pineapple on pizza. But I only ever had it like when I was there by the water, and you only really kind of go there when it's like sun's out, fun's out. So it was
There
very
was a-
like. It was a. It was a... Sorry, I missed that.
There was a chain by me called Hops that had a burger with a pineapple on it that I used to love.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad that we agree on this.
Not controversial to me. Good burger.
I don't want the patty done over medium. I would like it if it was medium rare, but some places, like your Five Guys, is just going to give you a medium patty no matter what you do.
There's not a lot of places, especially fast casual places, where you can customize the temperature of your burger.
But you're talking about a patty that's so thin that you don't have you can't get a
that's
so
with
thin,
a smash burger.
Smash burger. You cannot get a medium rare. It's
like it's raw or it's done.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And then finally, I want to give a shout out to getting a restaurant in a burger, or a burger in a restaurant, excuse me. And,
getting a restaurant and a burger.
Getting a restaurant and a burger. Having the burger arrive open so that, like, it's opened up. You can see probably the patty and the cheese, and then the other side has the fixins and the top of the bun, and you put it together yourself.
I like it when the veggies are on the side and I can build it myself.
Yeah,
and I think I really appreciate the opening of the burger too, because those burger patties are always hot, and that when they're hot and they close the lid on them, that's like Steamtown. It makes everything soggy.
Yeah,
lettuce gets soggy. Everything gets soggy.
We want to keep the hot side hot and the cool side cool. And then we want to put it together ourselves.
Exactly.
I would say in general, that's my burger style. Jim, what's your burger style?
My burger style, like my absolute top tier burger style / format is the patty melt.
Format? Patty melt? I didn't realize that was an option. You
patty
son of
melt's
a bitch.
A style. It's a style. The patty melt's a style.
Fucking amazing.
A double cheeseburger patty melt with pepper jack cheese. I like spicy, so
you're describing Whataburger, okay?
The Whataburger patty melt with jalapenos is, I think, one of the best burgers in the United States. It's so good. It's light on sauce, but it's got so much flavor on it. But like patty melts themselves, like the toast is such a good vehicle for sauce and the grilled onions and the jalapenos.
Not all patty melts have a sauce on them.
Usually they'll do like a...
In fact,
like
around here...
Mayo's always on it. Mayo's a patty melt staple.
It's not. Around here, and this is like a weird thing where when I lived in Texas, the patty melts always had like a I don't know what it was, almost like a special sauce, like a French dressing based sauce. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes.
But
like a Thousand Island
all
kind
the
of
places around me that I've noticed for years now, it's been a thing. For years now, I've noticed this, that none of them have a sauce on them at all, and I always have to ask for like some fucking something on the side. It's weird.
You at least
because that's how I think of a patty melt.
Yeah.
Vanessa,
you at least got to have some mayo on there.
Johnny,
I agree.
Do you want to talk about Live Alive?
Sure. Let me just wrap.
Sorry, we got on a real burger tangent.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm doing a different podcast right now. 1 second. So thanks for joining us for What's Your Burger Style. Next week we'll have a special guest, and we'll be inviting them. We'll be asking them, "What's your burger style?"
Is that a new bit on the show? What's your burger style?
Yeah.
A podcast within a podcast. Are we finally going to introduce our own podcast within a podcast? I feel like every podcast has a podcast within a podcast.
It's a podcast within a podcast. What's your burger style? We're never going to do it again.
What's your burger style?
Actually, trying different regional burgers with different variations.
We don't
That's
repeat.
Good. That's a podcast I would listen to, maybe. Or
I'd listen to the shit of that. You know what? I'd do that podcast, and I would enjoy the shit out of it. I'd die, but heading for an early grave anyway. So,